This is Atomic Shinobi and today I'm going to narrate first part of what if Naruto fulfilled the other side of prophecy. If you enjoy this video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
Falling to the ground was a man wearing black armor from head to toe, with a black and red full face mask covering his face. His breathing was labored and heavy. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze was this man, and he was near death, killed by a loved one. Naruto's point of view: how did this happen? How have I accomplished what I set out to do? The dark child of prophecy is who I am. At least, I believe I am. I wonder, was the real child of prophecy my sister? How did this happen? Dead. By my own sister. Oh. I remember now. It began 18 years in the past. The moment of our birth. Me and my twin sister. Flashback to the mass story. A man stole the nine-tailed fox from our mother Kushina 18 years ago. He led us along this route. Me on this journey. My younger twin sister received half of the Kyuubi from my father Minato Namikaze's battle and sealing, while our mother Kushina received the other half. Named after my sister, our great-grandmother Mito Uzumaki, our father claimed he intended to seal it in me rather than Mito. But he accidentally grabbed her because he was rushing. I didn't blame him, and neither did Mito. It was okay to grow up. Like his mother and father, Mito was praised as a hero for once again containing the Kyuubi. I occasionally thought I didn't fit in with the family. I didn't mind being overlooked occasionally in favor of Mito. She was heroic. I was merely the brother and son of heroes. But we were close regardless. We slept in the same bed when we were younger, not like that, you sick perverts. Similar to a sister and twin brother. When I first learned about the child of prophecy warning and my pervert godfather Jiraiya, I was 5 years old. I heard my mother yelling at the elderly man as I was leaving the restroom. My mother said, "Say that again, Jiraiya," in a tone of danger that I had heard from a Uchiha named Fugaku when he attempted to marry my sister to his youngest son. "It's a prophecy I heard from the elder Toad Sage years back," he replied. Minor flashback. Many years from now, a child will be born. This child will be the first male-born Uzumaki of the all-female Uzumaki clan. This child will hold the fate of not only the ninja world, but the world as a whole. He was either save the world, or destroy it, and but a signal action he will make will affect his future. The path of light and salvation, or the path of darkness and destruction. The elderly Toad Sage continued. The younger Jiraiya questioned the elderly Toad on one knee, and, "What is this action?" "The action that will decide the fate of the world, will be a small simple act of kindness." Small back-end flash, he concluded, "That's what he said to me." So, our boy is destined to save the world. Wow, how many mothers can say that their son will save the world? Kushina was beaming with pride. Jiraiya remarked, "Kushina, he might destroy the world as well." "Are you saying my baby boy will destroy the world, Jiraiya?" "I hope not. No boy of mine will become evil." Kushina stood by her child. "All I'm saying is that he could. I mean, come on Kushina. Even I at first thought a male-born Uzumaki would never exist. I mean, no matter what, all Uzumaki women give birth to females. When I heard that Naruto was born, I froze. I remembered what the old Toad said, and everything he ever said has come true," Jiraiya argued. Kushina continued toward the door, saying, "I don't care, Naruto will not become evil, Jiraiya. Your Toad Sage has gone senile if he thinks that my boy will become evil. Now if you excuse me, I'm going to tuck my babies in bed," she said. I hurried to my room and Mito's. Mito and I jumped into bed. "Brother," I whisper, "shush, go back to sleep, mother is coming." Our mother entered shortly after. She gave each of us a forehead kiss. "Good night, mama's special baby girl. Good night, mama's special baby boy," she was saying to us. Together, we said, "Night, mama." In the family, I was just as loved as my sister. By the village only. Council and everything. We, in a sense, came into our own when we were 5 years old. Whereas Mito appeared more like mom and behaved more like dad, I appeared more like dad and behaved more like mom. The only two things we had in common were that we both had blue eyes and that we were born with a whisker mark. No less from the Kyuubi. But for me and my family, everything went south when we were 6 years old. The small, uncomplicated act of kindness was now here. Our first day at the Ninja Academy was that day. Father is working on paperwork at his Hokage desk. Or, more accurately, sitting on the sofa in his office and watching his shadow clones complete the paperwork. We were walking to school with Mother. When did we exit the gate? Mito shouted, "Oh no," as she checked herself. "What?" Mother inquired. "I forgot my kunai holster inside the house. I thought I grabbed it." Mito screamed. I screamed, "Mito, you dummy!" at her. Mother reprimanded me, saying, "Naruto, that's not nice." "I'll go back and get it," Mito said as he was ready to dash inside. "No, I'll go get it." "Where is it?" Mito informed me, "On the desk near our room." I rushed into our house and said, "Got it. I'll be back in a moment." Looking for the kunai holster that belonged to my sister. I searched the room and the dresser for it. Then I noticed it. Dang it, it's never where Mito puts it. Directly before my face. I approached it and picked it up, saying, "Oh. Well, I take it back." "Got ya." I heard someone say that. A sound like hissing. I turned my attention to the hissing noise. My sister's kunai holster was a paper bomb. After that, a red seal array was displayed, and it circled our house. My shock prevented me from moving. Oh she. Boom. I was completely engulfed in flames as a huge explosion occurred. "Ah! Naruto!" My mother yelled outside, but I was in too much pain, and I felt the fire burn my skin off. I still remember seeing a man wearing an orange mask, but I never gave it much thought. Naruto. When my mother saw me on fire, she gasped in surprise and used a powerful water jutsu to put me out, but the damage had already been done. She brought me to the hospital, where Tsunade and the top medical professionals attempted to save my life, and sadly, they were successful. However, they were only able to save my life. Typical point of view. While examining Naruto's chart, Tsunade approached Kushina, Minato, and Mito. She and a dozen other medical professionals had spent the better part of 2 days attempting to save Naruto's life, but the damage to his body was irreparable. "Tsunade, how bad is it?" Minato questioned in a terrified tone. Unfortunately, 94% of his body sustained third-degree burns, while the remaining 6% sustained first and second-degree burns. Tsunade sighed. "In the first 12 hours of surgery alone, I was 8 times afraid he was going to die." Minato was trying to console his family when she said, "But I'm afraid that is where the good news ends." Kushina and Mito were crying and hugging Minato when she said, "He's alive by sheer willpower alone." She didn't want to reveal what she was going to say next. "What are you saying?" Kushina questioned in terror. "The fire's damage." Tsunade waited while his chakra system was destroyed. "What? How is that possible? Chakra is not destroyed by fire," Minato inquired. Tsunade inhaled. Corrosive chakra was present in the fire. "Minato, this was no accident. Your son was attempted to be killed," she said. "The Anbu you sent to look into it reported finding a burned piece of paper. They claimed that it had a chakra signature that they were unable to recognize before it turned to dust, but the fire destroyed it. I'm going to assume that this was an attempt on my life." "Oh no, Kushina was related to someone." "What's that, honey?" Minato questioned his spouse. According to Mito, she left her kunai holster behind. When Naruto went for her, she was about to get it herself. Is Mito the actual target? Kushina was terrified because someone had attempted to murder her son and might be pursuing her daughter. Perhaps. Unfortunately, Naruto will not be able to use either genjutsu or ninjutsu. He can't use taijutsu because his body is too damaged. Additionally, he experienced manager trauma to all of his internal organs. Once more, Naruto ought to be dead by all standards. However, he survives. Tsunade had to leave because she could no longer stand it. Naruto heard the conversation inside, and as the machines kept him alive, he shed a single tear. His dream of becoming Hokage was on fire. It took 6 months for Naruto to be allowed to leave the hospital, and even then, he needed to be brought in once a week for an examination to make sure he was okay. Naruto no longer resembled his father. He was bald and pale white, with only the top right corner of his head looking somewhat normal. His muscles were nearly gone, and he needed a cane to help him walk. His mother and sister were always by his side, and because of his injuries, he never left his room except to use the restroom, eat with the family, or for his checkups. He also required a respirator to help him breathe for the rest of his life because the fire had damaged his eyes, turning them yellow where they had been white. Point of view of Naruto. When I was 7 years old, I was on my way to my parents' room. Mito and I had our own rooms because she could hurt me if she hugged me, and that's what I wanted to talk about. Neither of us liked it. It was said that the Uzumaki twins don't like to be apart, so I suppose we are alike, but I could feel my body deteriorating. There would be no point in keeping me alive any longer than necessary. When Mito was old enough to let go, that's when I received the news my parents received that day. I had another check. Up and saw the face that Grandma Tsunade made. Why? My mother screamed. Why are we cursed like this, Minato? Because of someone who despises us. Our son is hardly alive. His dream of becoming a Hokage like you was dashed. To be as good as the two of us. Why? For what reason must he also die? My mother sobbed as she spoke into our father's chest. I kept listening in on the conversation because I knew they were talking about me. I understand. I apologize. Neither Naruto nor Mito should be deterred by this. Making Naruto's final moments as comfortable as possible is all we can do, Minato said to his distraught wife. Why? Why must we lose our son in order to have another child? She asked, her tears deepening. I was shocked to learn that my mother was expecting a younger sibling, either a sister or a brother. We didn't have to wait long before our mother gave birth to a baby girl, a bundle of energy. 8 months later, she was named Naruko, which I didn't understand at the time, but they named her after me. I felt like my life was coming to an end, and Mito looked worried for me. I could see that my parents were afraid for my life as well. I felt like my time was running out when my mother left to take Mito to school with Naruko one day. Dad was at work, so I was left alone once more. I cried for the first time since I learned that my dream was over, and I regretted that I wouldn't get to see my sister become the Hokage, the first female Hokage, as our mother had desired it, but I vowed that day I would fight to live long enough to see my sister become the Hokage. So, what exactly do we have here? Fear returned to my eyes as I heard a voice and saw an orange mask with a spiral, which I recognized as the same one I had seen when I was on fire. He told me, abandoned to die alone. Abandoned by your own family. Naruto, how does that feel? Did he ask. My family adores me. They did not desert me, I shouted at him. Oh. So how did I enter here once more? I would tell you why, but I really don't care to tell you right now, I said without responding. He threw my cane out the window and put a paper just above me, just out of reach, saying, I'm just going to leave you a going away present. I was stuck until Mom got home or Rin arrived to watch over him. She should have arrived by now. I do hope you enjoy my present to you, he said. Consider it a form of retribution against your parents for thwarting my intentions. He grinned malevolently and said, but I'm not done, Naruto. He lifted his blade and then severed my right arm just above the elbow. I didn't scream, but I could see the anger in his lone eye and his face. He then severed both of my legs just above the knee. I didn't scream, but he was so furious now that I just grinned at him. What's the matter? A child cannot be made younger. 10 screams. Then, even though it wasn't the best thing to do, I smiled at his rage. Goodbye, kid. After saying, I do hope you die painfully, he disappeared in a vortex-like thing. When I heard the hissing sound, I turned to face the seal. I knew I had about 60 seconds before it blew, so I grabbed my notepad that was close by, wrote a final note to my family, and threw it out the window. A moment later, I was engulfed in flames once more, but this time I didn't scream or yell. Instead, I let the flames consume me and didn't give that jerk the satisfaction that he had managed to make me cry out in agony. Typical point of view. When Kushina returned home and learned that their house had been set on fire once more, she collapsed to the ground, nearly dropping her newborn child. The Anbu was searching through the rubble for the fourth Hokage's son, and Mito screamed upon seeing her brother's house. Naruto was declared dead later that day after the Anbu searched for hours without finding a body, just an arm and 2 legs that appeared to belong to a child and could only have belonged to one person. Kushina. Sensei. Kushina looked up to see Yugo, one of her students, an Anbu with purple hair, approaching her. I found this near your home, she said. It belongs to Naruto. She gave her Naruto's notepad, which contained numerous notes he had kept, and she embraced it tightly because she had forgotten everything about her son. The Namikaze family held Naruto's funeral later that week. Weeks would pass before Kushina discovered Naruto's final message. "Minato," Kushina shouted, and both Mito and Minato, who were still upset about Naruto's passing, rushed to her. She was crying uncontrollably and holding Naruto's notepad to her chest. Minato was trying to console his wife, who was still upset about Naruto's passing. Kushina dropped the notepad, and Mito picked it up. With tears in her eyes, Kushina said, "Look at the last page." It read, and Mito crouched near her parents and turned to the last page. "I'm going to die soon, so this will be my final note in this book. To my mom, dad, and my two younger sisters, Mito and Naruko. I will always love you, no matter what happens. I'll tell you who killed me as I'm going to die. The first person who did it to me was a man wearing an orange mask with a spiral on it to his eye. Caused me to become irreparably burned, and now it has killed me. He claimed that his parents were punished for stopping his planes. Goodbye, everyone. I love you all. Admire Naruto." The family wept, but Kushina and Minato were incensed at the man who had taken their lives, turned their eldest daughter into a Jinchuriki, and now murdered their only son. Mito, on the other hand, made a vow. That was the final note Naruto wrote before he passed away. "Big brother, I swear to you," Mito vowed, "I will kill this man." However, she needed to gain strength, so she trained constantly, sometimes not paying attention unless it was for training. Over the years, her mother and younger sister saved her from becoming an Avenger, and she grew kinder to her younger sister. The young girl was told that her older brother, who is now dead, had declared that he would one day be Hokage, and that her older sister would fulfill that promise for him. Little Naru was always around Mito, but Mito didn't mind. She turned away from the Avenger's path before she could walk it, aided by her sister and parents, but she will still kill the man who first crushed her older brother's dream and then killed him. After a while, she was 12 years old. Her parents didn't want her to graduate early, but she didn't care. She would graduate with her friends and become a great ninja. She hoped to solve her brother's murder, but for some reason, which she couldn't explain, she felt that her brother wasn't dead. "Brother, if you're dead, please, watch me. And if you are alive." She cried as she said, wait for me to find you and bring you back home. She will always miss her older brother." Point of view of Naruto, but I didn't pass away that day. Slight flashback. When another vortex opened, I was on fire, and I saw a man I knew from the book, Madara Uchiha, with long black spiky hair and armor. This man only made me suffer more. It would seem that my wereward apprentice did this to you, child. He waved his hand to extinguish the fire, but the burns were already severe. "Come, child, I need a new apprentice. My old apprentice has turned from my teachings. I wouldn't live this time. I was too weak for before. One that will surpass him in strength. I question whether I'm acting appropriately." We departed into yet another whirlpool he created. Small back-end flash. It was raining when we got to the village after leaving. "Nagato," he shouted. I looked like a burnt mummy, and a man hurried to him with a woman with blue hair who clutched me and almost puked. "To save the child's life, I need your utmost effort, and I need them now." Pain nodded, aware of the danger. The doctors began working as soon as they put me in a bed, saying, "My lord, his arm has to be amputated." Nagato nodded as the head physician stated, "We cannot save it." I was still very much awake. They had no time for painkillers as I was knocking on death's door. They worked fast. They cut off my arm and worked on my body with an experimental procedure. They replaced my arms and legs with metal limbs, connected to my nervous system. But my body was frail and would break. So they encased me in a metal suit, or imprisoned me as it were, because from now on I would die without it. It was black, with a built-in respirator as they were told I needed one for life. They put the respirator over my mouth and connected to my face. I could lower it for a bit if I wanted, not that I needed to. Then finally a face mask. The back came first, covering the back of my head with locks for the mask. It covered my face with a long but small eye visor. It was red and black. It went over my respirator to cover my weakness as it were. Think Darth Raven's mask. The locks clicked locked. I was reborn as it were. Or, I was cursed with the affliction of living. It took a few mouths to get used to my new body. But I wasn't in any pain anymore. In fact, I felt nothing. No pain, no happiness, no nothing. I was alive but not alive at the same time. I was just there. Shortly after that was finished, Madara approached me. Come on, kid. We need to come up with a new name for you first. Namikaze, Naruto Uzumaki, has passed away. Now you are a different person. What will you be called? Madara questioned me. I considered it, but for a long time I was unable to come up with one. I like my name, and it gave me and my family hope, but I was no longer Naruto. I was someone else, something else. I was no longer the son of a hero. I was the offspring of a villain. I was. The new name you have is Darth Nemesis, he said. After that, I became the dark child of prophecy, the ninja's world. Destroying force Jiraiya feared. Madara told me, come Darth Nemesis, we have much to do. He told me everything he told his first apprentice. How the Sage of the Six Paths was really a woman. His and the first Hokage's mother. His plan to untie the world under the banner of the Leaf Village. But his old student just waited to rule the world, not help it like he wanted. Now that I wanted. He trained me. Now that I had a new body I could fight. But I was no ninja. Never was going to be. But now I was something else. I was great and grand. Soon after Madara had me make a sword. I made it out of obsidian black metal. Madara placed seals that allowed red lighting passed through it. The electricity made my sword able to cut through anything. And so it did. People, place or thing, my sword went through anything I wanted it to pass through. At age 10 I had killed over 100 people. Not a lot compared to some, but I'm just starting. Madara also taught me strategy and tactics. So I could be unmatched by anyone else in the world. Something his old apprentice didn't take the time to do. It was when I turned 11 that Madara passed away, leaving me with the burden to fulfill his desire. To unite the world under one banner. I will deliver, at any cost. Even if my mother and sister must sacrifice something. But before he died he told me one last thing. Darth Nemesis, you need to know one last thing. In the past, the tailed beasts were a single entity. The first sage of the Six Paths, my mother, broke it apart, as you are aware, but I kept this from my other apprentice because he was impatient and the tailed beast needed to be sealed in a specific order. The last one to be sealed is the Nine Tails, because it possesses the greatest intelligence in addition to the greatest power. I will tell you what you need to know, he said, taking one of his last breaths. I will tell you what you need to know. I grinned cruelly as he gave me the information I needed to seal the tailed beasts. All I needed was for all of the Jinchuriki to be alive for it to work, so I would take my time, but it will. I let Nagato or Pain run Akatsuki for a whole year, and it didn't matter to me. We had 10 people. Pain, Konan, Sasori, Kisame, Kakuzu, Hidan, Zetsu, Daidara, and myself. It was simple. We each got one. Daidara would get 1, Hidan would get 2, Sasori would get 3, Orochimaru would get 4, Kakuzu would get 5, Kisame would get 6, I would get 7, Pain would get 8, and I would get 9. However, we had to get ready, so we acted like a mercenary group, and Kakuzu loved this part because he knew where to get the best deals and the most money, even though the rest of the group believed we needed money. Typical point of view, 10 translucent figures gathered in a pitch black cavern. So, where are you now pursuing the tailed beasts? One of the holograms said. What? One with a ripple like patter in his eyes replied, yes, we, the Akatsuki, need all of the tailed beasts to accomplish our goal. One with eyes like a serpent said, getting the tailed beasts will be no easy feat, not for any of us. The man in the mask claimed to have a black cape and a hood. That's true, he said in a raspy voice, however I'm sure that we can attain them. And how much do you know about this issue? Again, I asked the serpent. The man in the mask repeated, if you're not sure of your abilities, you can always leave. Enough, there's still some time before we pursue them. Just conscious that we are pursuing them. That's all. 8 out of 10 people left the meeting. The masked man remarked, this is getting annoying. I understand. However, finding true peace is not simple. The man with the odd eyes added, it's also difficult to maintain. I understand. We will have peace, though, if everything goes as planned, the man in the mask repeated. I'm going to check on something. But we can't let this chance pass us by. The masked man departed, followed shortly by the last man. The 5 great nations are more divided than ever, This is the best chance to achieve our goal. A woman with blue hair said, I don't trust that boy Nagato. My name is Conan. Nevertheless, he is strong. He depends on us just as much as we do on him. We cannot succeed without him, and he cannot succeed alone. He is with us for the time being. We will kill him if necessary. We shaped that boy into who he is, and I can just as easily ruin him. A red-haired man who went by Nagato said. I understand, but the boy. Compared to Madara, he is more evil, and as of last year, we are the only ones who know that the man is actually dead. He conceals his strength. It's fantastic, Conan repeated. I understand. What Madara taught the boy is only known to the real god of this world. The boy would have grown stronger in the brief time Madara was able to train him. Conan. Every ninja has a secret. Madara, you, me, and everyone else. The boy will assist us. For the time being. Nagato concluded, but he knows that he is no match for me. Conan didn't say it, but she hoped it was accurate. Alongside Darth Nemesis below him, an immobile army of an unspecified number of white Zetsu was tinkering with something, and Nemesis thought to himself, soon, this army will be greater than before. Are you certain that nobody else should be aware of this? Said Zetsu. No, nobody else. Nemesis remarked, the others may have nice big jutsu, but you are out spy, combined with your morphing ability we can't lose. Your ability makes you one of the more lethal of Akatsuki. How many clones have you made so far? Zetsu asked, nodding. Did he ask? Not much. Just about 50,000, he replied. Return to your previous task. Zetsu nodded again and walked away, saying, it's not enough. I need you to find all of the tailed beasts. Not for my scheme to succeed. He returned to his work, saying, I still need at least 50,000 more. Village of Leaf. The world went on, with ninjas growing, fighting, and dying in a never-ending cycle of hate, while Akatsuki continued their mercenary work and Zetsu was tracking down all the Jinchuriki locations. Though it's a long name, it works. Mito Uzumaki Namikaze, the daughter of Minato and Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze, was training to become the first female Hokage and even began to act more like her mother, though not as much as her younger sister, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, the prankster from hell. Naruto. Return here, Naruto, you've gone too far this time. The Hokage's 5-year-old daughter was being pursued by two Chunin, and it appeared that the little Hellraiser had hurt the Hokage's face as a graduation present for her sister. The first Hokage resembled Might Guy, the second appeared to be saying, I like the little orange book, so does Sarutobi, the third was saying, shush, and the fourth, looking irritated at the other three, said, greatest dad ever. The words, reserved for Mito Uzumaki Namikaze, and reserved for Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, were written next to each other. We have an emergency, Lord Hokage, a man shouted. You'd better bring me something important, and don't tell me it's Naruto again, Minato sighed. However, it's Naruto once more. She scaled the massive rock faces, the first guy shouted. Minato sighed once more as she said, she put graffiti all over the Hokage faces. Returning to the chase. Return here, a Chunin shouted. Nah nah. She gave them a raspberry and vanished around a corner. We have you now. What? She exclaimed before leaving. Find her. In the Hokage tower watching his youngest humiliate his Chunin ninja, Minato remarked, perhaps I should send them back to the academy for a refresher course. Kushina told her lover, that's not fair Minato. I mean, she is our little girl. Yes, she is. But she shouldn't be able to outrun all of my ninja. I'm tempted to see if she could outrun my Anbu, he replied. Naruto is back. A wood fence was pasted by the Chunin. Get back here. Naruto reveled when a portion of the fence collapsed. Her hair was reddish, blonde and reached her mid-back. Her cheeks also have the family birthmark of whisker marks. She wore pants and a jacket with cameo patterns. The hues were orange, yellow, and red. A black Uzumaki spiral on one shoulder and a white one on the other were the only oddities. Man, those guys suck at chasing me. No one can take on the prank queen of the Leaf Village, she screamed. A voice that Naruto was all too familiar with asked, oh yay? As her jacket collar picked her up. Ah! She exclaimed as she spun around. Hanging like a cat if picked up this way, she said, What are you doing here, big sister? You should be training with pervy Uncle Kakashi. Mito gestured toward her younger sister and said, we left early, but why are you here? You ought to be in class. She asked, we got out early. Mito began to make his way to the Hokage Tower, saying, buzz wrong. Let's go. Her younger sister was struggling to escape her sister's hold. After a short time, the Hokage's office door was opened. Naruto expressed disappointment, saying, how come you used the door? That's so old school. Kami gave man the ability to make a door. So why not use it? Mito replied. She looked to her parents. Sarcastically, I think this is yours? She said. Naruto waved and said, hi mom, hi dad. She noticed Jiraiya and Tsunade. Then she addressed the Sannin, saying, hi grandma, hi pervy godfather. Minato asked his youngest, Naruto, do you realize how much trouble you're in? Naruto shuddered. Then, though, she smiled. She didn't have a cheerful smile on her face. No, even the Kyuubi would perspire at this act of pure evil. Mom, Dad, I have a question, she said. Her parents gave her a look. You see, she said, reaching into her pack behind her and taking out a small orange book. I can't read these big words yet, but I like the funny pictures. Jiraiya froze and was about to jump out of the window when Tsunade grabbed him. Pervy godfather gave me this book to read one night when he was tucking me in. I like this picture on page 69. It kind of looks like mom and dad and Aunt Makoto. See, she said, pointing to the image. She questioned, why are they wrestling? Tsunade, Minato, and Mito flushed as Kushina grabbed the book. Kushina appeared enraged. With the sweetest smile she could manage, Kushina said, Mito, be a dear and take you sister out for ice cream. We need to talk with Jiraiya about a proper way to tuck kids into bed. With the Kyuubi's sincerity. Mito said, okay mom. Out of concern that the Toad Sage had reached the end of his life. With a joyful, yay ice cream, cry, Naruto was still being held like a cat. The door is closed and outside. Mito told her younger sister, you know that was cold right? You left pervy godfather to the wolves. With the light shining on her and sacred music playing, Naruto remarked, sacrifices must be made for the greater good. Mito deadpanned, you mean you didn't want to get in trouble right then and there? That too. Jiraiya's agonized cries were heard by everyone in the left village. Mito was stroking one of her necklaces. The Uzumaki swirl served as the pendant, and it was made of white gold. It was her portion of the necklace made by the Uzumaki twins. It was white. She didn't know why her necklace was white when she and her older twin brother received it, but Naruto's necklace turned black. To which Naruto replied, thinking about brother. Yay. I do hope he is fine where he is. I'm sure he is sis. I'm sure he's rooting for you in the afterlife waiting for us to join him when our time is done. Said Naruto. Naruto and Mito laughed and said, if he hasn't irritated Kami with all of his antics. With nausea. But they didn't know. Their older brother was in an eternal hell, not heaven. One of the Serpentine men asked, why am I with you again? We are here because the first of our objectives is here and he is your target Orochimaru, Nemesis stated to him. Orochimaru froze when he felt the boy next to him, who appeared to be 18 years old, release an evil that was greater than anything he had ever experienced. Now, remind me, why are you part of this group? You have no skills to speak of. What evil? This must be known to Lord Hokage. It was Nemesis who informed Orochimaru, now if you are done talking we have work to do. They kept moving through the land of stone. Days passed before they sensed their target was close. He is here. Are you ready Orochimaru? You'll take part in the first step in what Akatsuki seeks. Nemesis stated to him. As the two got closer to their target, Orochimaru nodded. Orochimaru saw that the man in black had a necklace hanging around his neck. He said, what is that? He looked at something, and Nemesis saw it. That is my own business, now focus. Orochimaru gave another nod. They soon encountered the four-tailed host. Nemesis utters, Rushi. Jinchuriki of the Four Tails. Rushi asked the two people in front of him, yes, who may I say is asking? Nemesis told the older man, no one you need to know. Just come with us, you are needed. No thanks boy. I go with no one I must try to understand my power, he replied. Orochimaru remarked, "It's unfortunate that we are not offering you a choice in this matter." As Orochimaru confronted the Jinchuriki, Nemesis observed. As he watched, Orochimaru behaved like a snake in combat. Orochimaru's cunning made him the ideal choice to capture the target, despite the fact that none of his physical attacks will be effective against this one. The target was difficult to capture because of the lave that the partially formed tailed beast possessed. Then, at last, the conflict was ending. Nemesis remarked, "It appears that Orochimaru was not up to the task." He witnessed the Jinchuriki burning Orochimaru alive. Despite being exhausted and having trouble breathing, Rushi exclaimed, "Got ya," after winning. He had nearly forgotten the man in black who did nothing but watch his comrade die. He addressed the older man, saying, "How sad that this is over so soon." "What?" As promised, Orochimaru appeared from behind and started shooting gas at him. A gas that wouldn't have killed a Jinchuriki but would have killed a lesser man. No, it just expelled him. He saw his partner nod. Orochimaru said, "Excellent. Now we have one of the tailed beasts. Only 8 more to go." Orochimaru took hold of the corpse. "Come on. I don't know how long he will be out." Nemesis slapped the man with more than a dozen seals and said, "Leave that to me. I have some seals that will make him as weak as a normal person his age." The Jinchuriki of the 4 tails was now ensnared, completely encased in seals. Orochimaru remarked, "That was tiring. You faced a tailed beast. It is to be expected. You did well to win, Orochimaru. Not many can claim the same. But we must move on," Nemesis stated. "This Darth Nemesis is a mystery. I'm unable to identify him. However, it took very little work on his part to make me, of all people, freeze. He must be more powerful than I am." Orochimaru pondered. He might even be as strong as Lord Hokage. The two went back to the Rain Village's main hiding place. "You're late," the Akatsuki's leader said. As he put the man in a cell, Nemesis remarked, "The Jinchuriki was a little tougher than first expected. But it is done. We have the 4-tailed host." The leader glanced at the man wearing full body armor and said, "Good. We have taken the first step in making our goals come true. We still have a ways to go." Darth Nemesis. "Yes, my lord. The Leaf Village will be hosting the Chunin exam in a month or 2. Thanks to the information you gave us, we know that the odds of the 9-tailed Jinchuriki will participate. This will be a golden opportunity to get one of the 2 Kyuubi hosts," the man replied. Nemesis responded, "I understand. We will get at least one of them." The leader disappeared after saying, "Good. We'll be in touch." Dismissed. Nemesis and Orochimaru fled the cave like a hiding place. So, Orochimaru began to go away. Orochimaru gave him a look. "It seems that we will be going to your old village. Any lovers there that I might need to know about?" "I don't want one showing up and you not wanting to fight her," he replied. Orochimaru frowned at him. "No, everyone I care for is dead. I have no one left in this world." "That's something we have in common." Orochimaru was taken aback by this free information. "I too have nothing left in this world. My family is gone to me. I have no past, not anymore. And my future is death," he said with a cryptic tone. What he said was not understood by Orochimaru. "Why is your future death?" "Time and death are the only absolute thing in this world. Everything withers with time. Then death takes what's left. No matter how fast you are, time caches you. No matter how strong, death defeats you. You can prolong as long as you want. But everyone will die one day. Even I," he stated to the Snake Sannin. "You sound like you want to die. Me, I want live forever, to learn every jutsu this world has to offer." Nemesis questioned the man. "Is that why you left the Leaf Village? Because you wanted to be immortal?" "Yes. That's foolish. Knowing all the jutsu in the world will not give you unsurpassable strength," Nemesis replied. "Everyone is born with a certain amount of power. Once that power reaches its peak, it starts to die. No one can stop it. You are born with it. I am born with it. The leader and everyone else. Trying to be immortal is pointless. For you will still die. No matter what," Nemesis stated. I will have to disagree. That is fine. I did not join to chance you. Let's just get ready for our job then go about our own business," he said to the Snake Sannin. He again nodded. "We have much to do until then." so get ready for any type of reunion that might accrue. Orochimaru shuddered. This aura is far more evil than Kyuubi. Next to a god, I feel like an ant. Nemesis disappeared in a black portal with the words, "This is where we part ways for now. I must check on something." What Orochimaru did best was what he did. He took off running. He sprinted as quickly as he could. He didn't think Jiraiya, and Tsunade could defeat this man. This boy. He had to track Jiraiya down and warn him. In case Jiraiya needed to get in touch with him while he was reporting on the Akatsuki, he went to a nearby town where he would be staying. This is the most crucial one yet. But Orochimaru had no idea that he was being followed. I must caution them. The target is Minato's wife and daughter. Luckily, he always departs for somewhere. Orochimaru arrived at the small town he had been hoping to find. The rest of the world didn't notice him walking, until he heard laughter and discovered a bathhouse, found him. With nausea, Nemesis was strolling through a forest by herself, looking for the host of Seven Tails. He was aware of what he was seeking. A young girl with orange eyes, bronze skin, and mint green hair. He was looking around the village of Waterfall. He was somewhat aware of what he was doing. He was aware that, for better or worse, he would alter this girl's life. He sensed her presence. His target yelled, "Halt, state your business in Waterfall." "Fu. Jinchuriki of the Seven Tails. My business is you," he said. Then she stammered, "M.me. Nemesis told the girl, "Yes. I've come for you." "Why me?" "You have something I need, something I want." She said, "You mean the tailed beast inside me, right?" "Yes." Will it hurt?" she questioned in fear. "Hurt? You're going to kill me, right? I just want to know if it will hurt." Fu asked once more, being aware that even if she battled this person in front of her, she would still die. Nemesis revealed a side of himself that he had never shown anyone before. "I do not know if it will or not. But what I can promise you is that if my goal is reached, no matter how it is reached, you will know peace." Fu questioned, "Peace? As in, peace of the dead?" "Yes, and know if my plan works you will know peace. That is all I can promise you. As to your death, you will not die yet. You will be held in a room made just for you until you are needed. You'll be treated right if that is what you're afraid of. And no one will take advantage of you. If they try to, they know the penalty for trying such an act," he stated, attempting to win her trust so she would accompany him without protest. Fu gave a nod. "I have a request, if it's not too much to ask," she replied. He said in a hollow voice, "Depending on the request, I might be able to grant it." It sounded nice to her. "Will you come and talk to me, sometimes when you're not busy? Maybe. I don't know, a friend?" She hesitated. Nemesis's head cocked. Did she mean it? He saw the loneliness she had endured throughout her life when he looked into her eyes. Then he recalled a statement made by Madara. Jinchuriki and Nemesis are not given proper care. It's likely that they will be hateful when you confront them, regardless of where they live. Or isolation. It will be simpler to gain their trust if they are experiencing loneliness. Even though you may not enjoy it, it's better than fighting them. Be aware that the human mind longs for someone to be there for them, just as the human body longs for another human's touch. As it were, a friend. Compared to male hosts who despise everything, female hosts are more likely to want a friend. Nemesis, keep in mind what I said. It might come in handy someday. He nodded. Nemesis had no trouble with the condition. That will not be so hard to do. Very well, if you come with me I'll be your friend. To him, it was just an odd idea. His words caused the girl to light up. She said, "Thanks, my name is Fu, what's yours?" "I am Darth Nemesis. You may call me Darth Nemesis or just Nemesis. Now come. We may get to know each other on the way to our base," he continued. They conversed as they made their way to the base. In other words, Nemesis listened while Fu spoke. He pondered whether there was still time to alter the agreement. However, that idea was dismissed. None of the other Akatsuki members could ever compare to her company. As soon as you stop listening to her talk. However, her voice was superior to everyone else's. In fact, he would gladly trade her for any of the other Akatsuki members. "I must stop you there. For you see, we're here," he stated to her. In an attempt to elicit a response from the man beside her, she said, "Oh. That was a long walk. Do you go for long walks with all of the girls? No, you're the first girl I've spoken to in person. In quite some time, he replied. Oh, why is that? I'll tell you another day. After entering the cave, they found themselves in a huge room. Well, it seems you were successful. Yes, I was. Good. We're that much closer to achieving our goal. Link up with Orochimaru, it is almost time to meet him to go to the Leaf Village. Nemesis gave a nod. Fearful of the man Nemesis had just spoken to, she nodded. Follow me, Fu. I'll show you to your room. She hoped not to offend him by asking, Nemesis. Do you have a real name? I mean, Darth Nemesis sounds like a title to me. He waved his arm, and a door opened. Darth Nemesis is my real name. My old name died when I did. Do not try to understand that line any further than you already have. This will be your room. It is not much, but if you want to decorate it any, let me know. I am your friend after all. Fu grinned. That's what she got him to say. He wasn't all that horrible. I must go. You must know the rules for now, until I get back. You are not allowed to leave your room unless I or someone of higher rank is accompanying you. If you try to escape, you'll lose any privileges you had while you stay here. If you are hungry, press this button and someone will bring a little something to eat. Also, tell them what you like, give them a few options, and next time they'll bring one of them for you. One more thing. We, thy Akatsuki, are not really much talkers. Only me and one other will ever be around you. Her name is Konan. She has blue hair and is the only female member of the Akatsuki, so you'll know her when you see her. I must take me leave now. I'll see you in a few days. Oh, one more then. If you want to stretch your legs, you're going to have to wait until I get back. Nemesis left the room. Fu smiled at the boy, man who had kidnapped her, and said, "Thank you, Nemesis." Step was paused by nausea. Then, as the door shut behind him, he went on. He continued to walk until the leader spoke to him once more. How did you get her to come along willingly? Does she know she is going to die? She knows, and I made her a promise. You know I keep them. Besides, I wasn't in the mood to fight Fu, he replied. Pain and Konan turned to the boy. Fu, is it? Inquired Konan. To think that you can show emotions. Nemesis scowled at her. That's enough. I don't care how you did it, just that you did. Now, go link up with Orochimaru so that the both of you will go to the Leaf Village. The final part of the Chunin exams will start and end soon. Get there and see if you can get one of the 9 Tails hosts. The holograms of Konan and Pain disappeared. Nemesis gave a nod. He went to his room, which for the time being was next to Fu's. He removed his mask for the first time since he had turned into Nemesis. He examined himself. His respirator covered his mouth and nose, but the rest of his face was white, as if he had been burned alive for the first time. Where there should have been white, his eyes were now blood red and yellow. It was difficult to see. Without his mask, he could only see about a foot. He had flashbacks to his past. When he was Namikaze Naruto Uzumaki. When he was unable to take his eyes off his necklace, he saw a tear fall from his eye. His mother gave him a black necklace. No. He exhaled deeply. Not mine. Naruto's necklace. I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis. He said again. Because of the name issue alone, he recalled the training Madara had given him. Rewind, ah, cried a boy on black armor. Say it, shouted Madara. My name is Naruto, ah. Every time he uttered that name, Madara made him pay. Naruto died that day. You are Darth Nemesis. The incarnate of destruction. You will destroy this old world and bring it about a new world. Now say it. Seeing a boy who had already endured so much pain was unbearable to Konan. But she had no choice but to observe. Pain did nothing but observe. Nagato couldn't take much more, though. Say it, I am Naruto Uzumaki, Namikaze. Madara went on. No, you are Darth Nemesis, instruction. For weeks without any time off or rest. Once the weeks were over, Madara saw that Naruto had a necklace in his hand. When he looked at it, he noticed the Uzumaki symbol. After attempting to remove it, he mentally attacked himself. Seals and Uzumakis. They made it impossible to take anything like this off unless the wearer did it herself. However, Madara made it impossible for Naruto to keep it. He lost the strength to battle Madara as a result. Say it. My name is Darth Nemesis. My name is Darth Nemesis. Madara, Pain, and Conan listened as Nemesis repeated, "Good, now come. We have work to do. I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis." Back end for Flash. When Nemesis saw the necklace that had given him the strength to be someone else for so long, he exclaimed, "I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis." It was his sole vulnerability. It also needs to be destroyed. It he put in his hand. All set to destroy it. It was crushed in his metal hand. It would be easy. It would be so easy to crush it and ruin his history. It would be simple. Nearly. He was unable to do it. He was unable to keep it, though. He made his way to Fu's room, and since he had a moment before he had to go, he opened the door and waved. He was shocked at what he saw. Fu had just gotten out of the shower and was getting dressed while completely nude. She looked like a deer in headlights. She was taken aback. She threw a pillow in his direction. She screamed, "Close the door," at him. With a wave of his hand, Nemesis closed it. After several minutes, he finally heard her say that it was okay to open the door. He entered. "Fu, I need you to do something for me. Something I can no longer do myself." Fu gave him an odd look. "Okay." Nemesis unhooked Naruto's necklace by reaching behind his neck. She said, "Turn around." He wrapped it around her neck after that. "I need you to hold on to this for me. I can no longer wear it." Fu gave it a look. In a sense, a present from her captor. She was engrossed in its gleam and exclaimed, "It's beautiful. Who gave it to you?" "No one. Just keep it. Never take it off. Let no one take it off. Keep it safe for me. For I can no longer keep it," he replied to her. Fu gave the boy a look. I was taken aback by his response. She was aware that she had coerced him into becoming her friend. She assumed he would speak to her a couple of times. However, Nemesis departed, saying, "Keep it safe for me. I can no longer wear it." He shut the door after himself. "I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis." Leaf Village, days later. The morning mist carried Orochimaru and Nemesis to the Leaf Village. They were near. The place was just beginning to calm down after the Chunin exam ended not too long ago. "So, you captured the Seven Tails host? I thought your target was the Nine Tails host?" "It is. Just that there was an opening on getting the Seven Tails that we could not pass up. I got her, no trouble. Also, Kakuzu is going to get the 5 tails. And Kisame the 6 tails," Nemesis replied. Orochimaru questioned, "We're going rather fast, are we? Preventing Akatsuki from moving too quickly. If we are successful, we'll be ahead of schedule. Let's stay forced on the task at hand." Nemesis wasn't one for contentedly talking. No amount of speed is too fast. Just not fast enough. Orochimaru nodded, aware that if he wasn't careful, this boy could kill him. A guard was sleeping at his post when they passed him, or what appeared to be asleep but was so quickly knocked out by Nemesis that Orochimaru was unsure of how he managed it. "Let us move quickly. I know that the 4th Hokage's wife and oldest daughter hold the Kyuubi. We need only one of them. The daughter would be easier considering." Aging Orochimaru gave a nod. Lately, he has been doing that a lot. To unwind, the couple entered a tea shop and placed an order for some tea. Their gifts would not be overlooked. Orochimaru, however, persisted. Orochimaru kept his gaze fixed on Nemesis. He desired to see what was behind his mask. Asuma shouted, "Kakashi, fancy meeting you here," to the two of them. "Yes, well, I'm killing time until my students get here," he replied. When Asuma and Kurenai realized, they said, "Oh, it's not like you to be waiting." "Well, I wouldn't want to be. You should Mito find you. You remembered what happened last time?" he inquired. Orochimaru and Nemesis left them. They reappeared by a river. Orochimaru inquired, "Do you think they noticed us?" "Yes. 2 of them are on their way." Asuma and Kurenai suddenly materialized in front of them. "Now then." Can one of you tell me why two unknown and powerful ninjas are doing in the leaf? Orochimaru replied, Asuma. Kurenai. Long time. I haven't seen you two in quite some time. The fact that you know our names means you're ninja formerly of this village. Who are you and what are you doing here? Asuma repeated her question. Orochimaru slowly took off his hat and said, Yes. I used to be a ninja for this village. I guess a reintroduction is in order. It showed a terrified Leaf Village headband. Even though Asuma was a little alarmed that a Sannin was his enemy with an unknown nearby, he responded, No doubt about it. Orochimaru. Of the Sannin. With Naruto and Mito whimpered, Come on old man, what did I do? Since the morning, she had been under office arrest. Around 5 in the morning, her parents woke her and her younger sister up and sent them to the Hokage office, where the third Hokage, old man, was watching. Given that Mito had been hospitalized since the Chunin exam, Naruto would have been the only one in trouble. By the way, she is now a Chunin in full. Now, I don't get to spend time with my two favorite granddaughters as of late. This is a perfect time to do so. Sarutobi, the elderly man, said. As Naruto complained, Then why am I here? I haven't done a prank in hours. Right now, she would almost like to be in class. Nearly. And I told you, Hanabi didn't take too kindly to you dyeing her hair Haruno pink. Both girls laughed. But the elderly man was concerned. Unless there was a problem, Minato would have placed his girls here. The paperwork was beginning to mention his name once more, so he hoped his successor would be okay. Returning to the battle, Kurenai questioned the armored man wearing a mask, and just who are you? He told her in a voice as cold as iron, I am Darth Nemesis. Never heard of you. Sometimes the best reputation is the unknown one. Kurenai, I'll handle Orochimaru until backup arrives. You handle Iron Man, Asuma replied. He nodded and said, Right, be careful Asuma. Genjutsu, tree-binding death. She wished he wasn't as wonderful as her fear suggested. The unidentified man was bound to the tree. Her words were, It's over. She struck with a regular kunai. Where his heart would be, she struck. Nothing took place. She struck what appeared to be solid steel. When she applied more pressure, the kunai's tip broke. What? The man then escaped the restraint, spun around, and seized her by the throat. She was being choked by his vice. Like grip. A weak genjutsu like that won't work on me. He replied. Although he had numerous wounds on his body from playing with Asuma and crushing her windpipe, Orochimaru had not used any poison in the attacks. He desired to inflict pain on his former sensei. It's over. He was on the verge of breaking her neck when he was struck in the face by something strong. He skidded a few yards as a result. Orochimaru felt the full force of Grandma Tsunade's fist because he lacked Nemesis' exquisite armor. It would have made Nemesis wince. If he had any senses. He glanced at the men before him. Kakashi. Hitaki. Itachi. Uchiha. And forgive me for not knowing someone who is not a threat to me, Nemesis replied. Then allow me to enlighten you my unyouthful friend. I am Might Guy, the green beast of the leaf. Nemesis's head cocked. Never heard of you. Now stand back. Someone as weak as you isn't even a threat to me. I must decline that request, for I have come to stop you. You are good to hide the amount of pain you're in. Your right hand is broken in several places from hitting my dark steel armor. Ninjutsu, Genjutsu and Taijutsu are worthless against me, he stated. It's been a long time my dear old friends. Jiraiya, Tsunade. How have you been? Asked Orochimaru. Good. Until I had to look at your ugly face again, Jiraiya replied. And Tsunade shouted, after today there'll be one less Sannin in the world. Your old teammates Orochimaru. An old man shouted, Orochimaru, to everyone. Orochimaru turned to face his former instructor and asked, How are you, Sarutobi, sensei? The elderly man stripped off his old clothes and removed his battle armor, saying, To think that you have fallen so far. It's high time I settle my past mistakes, and bury you forever. Orochimaru smiled his typical snake smile and said, What makes you think you can? I am far stronger than any of you. I could take you all out myself. Could you, Orochimaru? I don't feel like raising my hand to handle such trash. Not one of them is worth the effort to do so. Nemesis replied with a bored voice. You're calling us weak. exclaimed Tsunade. The man in black armor replied bluntly, yes. Orochimaru fought the impulse to strike his own face. Tsunade shouted, then you'll face the wrath of the Sannin. Nemesis said, bring it you old bitch. Now the water froze. If you ever see a Senji, make sure to call them a bitch, Madara advised his final apprentice. Madara's will can no longer be resisted by nausea. He still had his own plan, though, to bring the ninja world together. It was outstanding. It was unbeatable, he would always prevail. What did you say? He exhaled. You heard me. Orochimaru, on second thought, I'll handle this. You stay back. Make sure no one interferes. He instructed Orochimaru. Everyone was shocked to see Orochimaru giving orders after he nodded. He addressed the Leaf Village's elite, saying, now, come Leaf Scum, let me see what you can do. Itachi said, let's begin. Tsukuyomi. World of Tsukuyomi. Itachi told Nemesis, you are trapped in my Tsukuyomi world. Here I am God. His eyes widened as a sword pierced his stomach. No, you're not. You'll never be. Compared to the eyes of my master, yours is nothing but a cheap imitation. He trained me to resist this genjutsu. You're defeated. The real world. Ah, there was blood in Itachi's eye. Kakashi exclaimed, Itachi. What happened? Itachi held his gaze even longer. He beat me in my Tsukuyomi world. Genjutsu will not work on him, he was finished. Guy was unlocking the third gate when he said, okay, it's time for me to get this unyouthful foe. Ah, next are the fourth, fifth, and sixth. Ah. Guy attacked before anyone could notice. The guy attacks with a lot of fireball. Like maneuvers, saying, Morning Peacock. Nemesis remained motionless. He took no action. He was hit by every attack, but nothing happened. A most uninspired move. I told you, taijutsu won't work on me. He simply stood there, and even Guy's most powerful attack had no effect on the ground beneath him. Lighting Blade. Nemesis exclaimed as he saw Kakashi use his most powerful jutsu to attack him. He went after the man in black's heart. He made his point. Or so he believed. Kakashi's armor was unharmed by his attack. As he flew into Guy and Itachi, Nemesis backhanded Kakashi, saying, I told you. Ninjutsu won't work on me. Nemesis glanced to his right and exclaimed, take this, as Asuma charged him with his wind blades. To his surprise, the blades bounced off his armor. His face showed the shock. His jaw was broken by a kick to the face. Looking to his left, Nemesis exclaimed, ah! Tsunade had her Widowmaker ready to beat him into oblivion. In response, Nemesis punched her fist with his own. Every bone in her hand was broken by this. Jiraiya caught her after he kicked her across the river. The Reed One was charging him with or at least a clone. Rasengan. He felt a larger than usual Rasengan pierce his stomach. He didn't grunt at all. However, the force caused him to skid a few feet from his current position. Negatively, Nemesis remarked, very good. You managed to make me move from my spot. He kicked him in the stomach and flew into a tree in a heartbeat. He threw up his lunch when he landed. Jiraiya took a few moments to recover. Jiraiya questioned, what are you doing here? The elderly third Hokage was being handled by Orochimaru. His breathing was audible in the quiet breeze as he said, I will answer that, seeing as it doesn't matter if you know it or not. We're here for one mission, and one mission alone. We're here for the nine-tailed fox. So, we wish to not have any unnecessary bloodshed today. Hand over either Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze or Mito Uzumaki Namikaze. We will take either one, he said quietly. Jiraiya mockingly remarked, sure, why not? We'll hand over the Hokage's wife or daughter to you no problem. You would? Thank you, it took a while to get here from Rain, Nemesis replied. Then he exclaimed, are you crazy? We would never do that. Then Nemesis said, I know. Tsunade whispered, damn you're a pain, retaining her hand. Nemesis spiked his power with a hollow, we have no time for this. Give us the Kyuubi and we will leave. Is this the power Madara mentioned? Nemesis thought to himself, true power, a power that transcends chakra. His power caused everyone to freeze. Everyone there was terrified when all three of the Sannin froze. He drew his pure black sword in a heartbeat and brought it down in front of Kakashi in a dark flash. We have no time for this. But a foot kicked him away and a hand caught his wrist. He skidded a few yards again. Ow! Damn, that hurt. Nemesis glanced at the pair now in front of him. Minato. Namikaze. Kushina. Uzumaki Namikaze, he exclaimed. He addressed them, saying, I am Darth Nemesis. It is an honor to meet you. Well, Darth Nemesis, care to tell me why you're in my village beating up my student and my elite ninja? He inquired. He observed a medical ninja tending to the injured. Rin, his former self, told him. Since you asked, I'm here for the nine-tailed fox. Please hand over either your wife or your oldest daughter and we will leave in peace, he stated bluntly. Minato remarked, honestly, how refreshing. Kushina shouted or inquired, what do you want with our daughter? We need only one of you. All we need is one of the two nine-tailed fox beasts. We'll take either you or your daughter, it makes no difference to me. Nemesis replied sternly. And it makes no difference to us how Ibiki and Enko break you for your information, Minato stated bluntly. You'll forgive me that I do not know their names. I do not remember names that are no threat to me. Cocky much? Huffed Kushina. No, just confident. Minato appeared in front of him in an instant. Nemesis was prepared to attack, but he was ahead of Kakashi and Rin after using his own super speed move. After grabbing Rin by the neck, he vanished in a second. His hands gripped her neck. His iron grip was cold to Rin. As if he was aware of her past, he said, this feels familiar, doesn't it, Rin? Rin. Freeze. One more step and I snap her neck like a toothpick. Now, we're going to talk. Let's see where that gets us, shall we? He said. But he really had more in mind than merely talking. Now then. Tell me, Rin. One of my abilities is to see into some people's lives, their past, to be more accurate. Tell me. Did you fail one Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, the deceased son of your sensei? He inquired. He soon felt the anger from everyone there. How? I told you. I can see into the lives of some people. The sad pasts, like that one. I see it now. You begged for forgiveness before the funeral. They forgave you, but you can't forgive yourself. Just like the time when Obito died, it was your fault he did. Just as it is your fault that the son of the fourth died. Rin lifted her head and wept. Behind them, he heard a gushing sound. When he looked, he saw that the third Hokage had fainted from a nosebleed. He arched an eyebrow. Shortly after, the third awoke. He cried out, Minato, she's here. When a blade fell, Nemesis threw Rin away from him and leapt back. The katana was a regular one. Minato shouted to his eldest daughter, Mito, get out of here. Nemesis eyed the second Jinchuriki, his possible second target, and said, Mito Uzumaki Namikaze. One of the two Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed fox. Will you come with me? It will make everyone's life so much more bearable if you did. Sorry, whoever the hell you are, I'm afraid I'll have to decline, she grinned. With a dark tone, he stated, that wasn't a request. In an instant he was in front of Mito, backhanding her into a tree. Another moment later, he was standing in front of her once more. His black blade raised, now covered with red lightning. He knocked it down. Before anyone could react, Nemesis' blade sliced through Mito's blade and into her from her right shoulder to the lower left of her body. She had raised her own blade to defend herself, but she was unaware of the power the black blade held. Her wound was gushing blood. She was either too shocked by his terrible trauma or shocked to see her own blood. Kushina exclaimed, Me too, as her eldest daughter was on the verge of death. Nemesis retreated, and she hurried to her daughter's side. Mito, open your eyes. Minato attacks Nemesis again with Flying Thunder God Jutsu, but to Minato's surprise, Darth Nemesis was prepared and avoided his blow. An ocean of hatred surged in Nemesis' heart as she watched Kushina cuddling her eldest daughter, causing a twinge of jealousy. However, he ignored it. Nemesis told the man, Orochimaru, we are leaving. There is no further reason to be here anymore. Orochimaru questioned bewilderedly, what about the Nine Tails? I thought we were after them. Nemesis reiterated his orders, saying, do not question my order, there is no plans to capture them now, would only hinder us later, we are leaving. Orochimaru said, shrugging. As you say. He fled into the ground using his earth jutsu. Nemesis opened a dark portal and vanished inside it. We will meet again, Nine Tails Jinchuriki will become after you once more in 4 years. That's how long you have to train and prepare for that is how long Toshiyuku requires to become full power once again. Kushina and Mito's younger sister Naruko remained by her daughter's side even after numerous Anbu arrived to transport the injured to the hospital. Despite the healing powers of the Nine Tails, he left a scar, and it took her several weeks to fully recover from her wound. To protect her beloved people, she vowed to strengthen herself so that such an incident would never occur again. Nemesis made an appearance in the cave along with numerous others over the Akatsuki. Akatsuki, the group's leader, told Nemesis and Orochimaru, "So you failed." The other members of the group made fun of it, saying, "Surprising coming from the Golden Group." Capturing any of the two Nine Tails hosts would have been hampering, not helpful right now. Unlike the other villages, that Leaf Village would care if the Okapi's daughter and or wife would go missing, or in this case kidnap. The other villages don't care about their Jinchuriki for the most part. Besides, we need the QB lasts, not now. Nemesis argued for his position. It is true, besides we still have time for years before able to move against any of the other Jinchuriki or tailed beasts. However, Kakuzu doing the Kisame were successful, which means now we have 4 of the 9-tailed beasts in our possession. The leader replied to the group. One of the group's bug-eyed members asked, "Where does that leave us? We still need 1 to 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9. When not halfway done yet." "No, we are not, but we are ahead of schedule. We have 5 years to complete target objective and 4 years before we can move upon the other 5 Jinchuriki. And when we do, we'll move upon multiples at once. You are dismissed, but remember we need them alive." Nemesis was the only one left. "We are ahead of schedule, that much is true. We cannot get complacent. 12 months is not exactly a lot of time to capture 5 of the strongest ninja in this world has to offer," Nemesis stated to him. "It's more than enough time. After all, no one can defeat God," said Pain, then departed later. "You're no god, Pain. You're just extremely powerful. However, you two are nothing more than a pawn in this game. In the game to unite all of the 5 great nations and even the entire ninja world under one banner." Nemesis left and was soon greeted by Zetsu. "Anything you need to tell me, Zetsu?" "Yes, as a matter of fact, there is. You are right about Orochimaru. Everything you suspect it will write about. That's all I have to say about." The human plant replied to Nemesis. He gave a nod. "Well done. However, no matter what Orochimaru does, it cannot change the fate of this world. It was handed to me the moment I was born, and I will do with it as I see fit. No one can change that. My plan is foolproof. Nothing anyone can do to change it. Now leave me. I must go skin a snake. Pretty soon I'll think I'll let him play his little game for now." The world wouldn't hear the term Akatsuki again for many years. They waited for the leaders to give them more power, and by doing so, they contributed to further destabilizing the ninja world. It was also during this period that they apprehended the 3 tails on the bloodline rebels prior to his death. From ashes, a new Mizukage emerged. Additionally, despite the fact that it contradicted what Madara had taught him, Nemesis kept his word and told Fu the 7 tails of Jinchuriki during this time. He learned to be cold, ruthless, and cunning from Madara. The 3 tails Jinchuriki was furious when he learned what he was compelled to do, but there was nothing he could do to stop it now, and his death would come quickly, even though none of the 4 now 5 captured Jinchurikis where they could communicate with one another. He would require it in the future, so he used nausea to buy time to acquire power. As his plan came to fruition, Nemesis grinned and declared, "For I am the dark child of prophecy, and I will destroy this old ninja world and make a new from the ashes of darkness." Mito's perspective. 4 years. It has lasted that long. I've been preparing for Darth Nemesis for that long. He is aware of my brother's killer and the fate of his body. My brother needs to be buried with dignity. That's how much I own him. After all, I might have died instead of him if he hadn't entered our house to retrieve my kunai holster. I owe him everything. In my brother's honor, I will track down his killer or killers and murder them myself. Typical point of view. It has been 4 years. We have 4 targets left to get. The 1 tails, the 2 tails, the 8 tails, and one of the 9 tails. According to the leader, we are almost done. Daidara, Sasori, you two will head to the Sand Village. Their cage is the 1 tails host. Bring him back alive, no matter what. Of course, leader. It will be done, with a bang. Pain gave a nod. Hidan, Kakuzu, you two will head to the village hidden in the clouds. The 2 tails host has just left for a mission. She will be back in about a week. That is how long you have to find and capture her. If you fail, we are that much set back. And Hidan. We need her alive. The leader emphasized the word, alive. Damn. I need to kill somebody soon or Lord Jashin will be pissed at me, Hidan screamed. You can kill later. Capture the two tails host alive now matters. Kakuzu gave a nod. Damn. I must kill. A lot of participants simply shook their heads. Orochimaru, Darth Nemesis, how is our newest member? He inquired. Oh, Sasuke is doing just fine. I've been training him in everything I know. He'll be ready to duty soon enough. Orochimaru replied. Darth Nemesis took no action. Sasuke, however, grinned. Darth Nemesis. You don't look convinced. Sasuke's smirk vanished as he became enraged. No, I'm not. We don't need a Uchiha runt in this group. Why couldn't we get Itachi? He is worth something. What did you say? You heard me, Uchiha. We don't need you. Whatever Orochimaru saw in you means nothing to the rest of us. Whatever you wear in your old village don't mean shit here. Here you're nothing but the new guy. Someone who is here by the word of another, not earning your place here, Uchiha. I suggest you know your place. You're at the bottom of the food chain here. The boy heard the words of Darth Nemesis. What? Enough. We are all comrades here. Now then. In order for Sasuke to be one of us, he must capture one of the tailed beasts. So, Orochimaru, when you think he is ready, send him after the 8 tails. Pain replied with a nod. Why not the 9 tails host? I mean, I bet I can beat the bitch in a second. In response to the boy's lack of respect and tact, Pain said, no, you can't. Even if you were going all out, you can't beat the weaker one of the two. That is why you're going after the 8 tails. Now keep your tongue. Sasuke narrowed his eyes but remained silent, saying, it would be best to keep quiet in this room. Everyone here can beat you as you are now. You are the weakest right now. Pain dismissed the group, saying, now that we all know what we are doing, we must get going. I look forward to the results. Nemesis, however, remained. What is it, Nemesis? I was right about Orochimaru. And now he had recruited Sasuke. He will hinder us, said Nemesis. I see. What do you intend to do about it? In two mouths, Orochimaru said he will be meeting with one of his spies in the Leaf Village. He says that his spy knows about the 9 tails weakness and has asked me and Sasuke to come along. Saying it would be good for Sasuke and benefit me, Nemesis replied. I see. We can't let them hinder us any more than they already have. What are you going to do about them? I'm going to kill them. And any Leaf scum they had gathered to try and capture me. Orochimaru has been a spy for the Leaf since the begging. Jiraiya heard about us somehow and asked Orochimaru to go Rouge and join us to spy on us. Don't worry, nothing they know will help them in the long run. Nemesis replied. Pain peered into the void of Darth Nemesis's black and red mask. Madara was no longer as dark as he was. His aura of evil, everything. He shivered, too. His strength had outperformed him during these 4 years. What did he do to himself to become so strong? It's called Dark Sage Arts. What, you wondered how I got so powerful? I gave you the answer. It means nothing if you know the name. This power rivals the power the first sage of the 6 paths had. But no one can become as powerful as him. I will be going now. Nemesis departed. Dark Sage Arts. Conan questioned Nagato and herself. What is that? I don't know, Conan. I really don't know. But if they did that to a boy that should have died a few years ago, then I don't want to know. Dark Sage Arts. Sounds like an evil I don't dare go near. I suggest that you don't either. Nagato said to Conan. This was the last real friend he had. Who do you think he was? Before, Nagato didn't understand the question. Excuse me. Conan felt sorry for Darth Nemesis, asking, who do you think he was? Darth Nemesis, before Madara got a hold of him. What was the name that he held onto for so long before Madara robbed him of that? The poor boy lost everything. He had just arrived. In every sense of the word, not even a human. Pain said, a little freighted, I don't know Conan. But he is indeed a threat should he turn on us. I don't think even I could beat him. Conan gave him a startled look. Couldn't Nemesis defeat Pain? She did believe he might be tough, but cannot be beaten. I know, but you felt that aura just now, didn't you? He looked at us and we felt like the world was on our shoulders. His power is real. Nagato glanced at his best friend and said, "But you still don't see it, he is just a boy." With Nemesis Darth, on his way to Fu's room, he reiterated, "I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis. I am Darth Nemesis." He has been honoring the commitment he made to her, paying her as many visits as he could. She shouted, "Nemesis," and gave him a hug. He didn't mind, but he could never really get used to that. "I came on business really, Fu. Soon we will capture the one-tail host and the two-tails host. If all goes according to plan, we will have 7 of the tailed beasts," he stated to her. Oh, she realized that meant that every day they got closer to their objective, the closer she was to passing away. "You're telling me this for another reason, aren't you?" Nemesis approached the door and said, "Yes, the host of Two Tails is also a female. She will remain here with you until the time comes." She informed him that, "I've kept it safe." He nodded and turned his head before leaving after waving his hand to open the door. He understood her meaning. Nemesis wandered around in search of Sasuke and Orochimaru. They were training when he discovered them after hearing several explosions. "Orochimaru, Sasuke, I'm leaving, I'll be back in a few days," he informed them. "One more thing. Get him stronger, Orochimaru. If he is to take on the 8 tails, then he needs to get much stronger than that. He could even take on the 1 tails at this point." Nemesis walked away. Sasuke was prevented from making a suicide comment by Orochimaru. "Sasuke, that man can kill anyone but the leader of Akatsuki. If you attack him, he will end you before you realize that it was a mistake." If only Orochimaru had known the truth. Orochimaru was relieved to have someone he could rely on beside him in the face of someone like Nemesis. "Besides Sasuke, you'll have your chance soon. That monster is the personification of evil, if there ever was such a thing." Going to his room, Nemesis examined himself in the mirror. He occasionally saw Madara and other times he saw himself as Darth Nemesis. "You will fulfill my will, Darth Nemesis. I've trained you in the dark sage arts. A power that rivals that of even my mother, the sage of the 6 paths. You can't fight my will, Nemesis. Not anymore." Madara's voice remained powerful in his mind. Long ago, Darth Nemesis lost the will to resist Madara's will. "Repeat after me, Naruto. I am Darth Nemesis, I will conquer all. I am Darth Nemesis, I will conquer all. My hate is my strength. My hate is my strength. This world will be united under one banner, at any cost. This world will be united under one banner, at any cost. All shall suffer. All shall suffer. Good Darth Nemesis. My young apprentice. Your hate has made you powerful, I can feel it. Even in death. Go forth, do what must be done, Darth Nemesis, to bring peace." Darth Nemesis told himself, "Even in death, you will outstrip me. Only one, able to undo your will. Only one, whose will is stronger than yours," he said. However, he had too much on his plate. He left to locate Deidara and check on the progress of capturing the One-Tails host using his black portal. In the village of Sand, on the village wall, Nemesis appeared. Just in time for the battle to be over. On his clay owl, Deidara remarked, "I expected as much, that sand armor makes for quite a tight defense." Given that something was taking place inside the sand sphere, nausea could occur. However, that's exactly what I was counting on. My left hand might have been crushed. But I used thy opportunity to eat your sand, and mixed some of it with my detonating clay. You doomed yourself the moment you tried to use your sand armor and tried to form a defense. And the best part is, I planned it that way all along." Inside, Gaara observed tiny C3 explosive animals directly in his path. True art is no. An explosion. Inside the sphere, numerous detonations accumulated. So it is already over. How sad. All that is left to do is for Deidara to capture him and be done with it. Nemesis replied. Then Deidara was attacked by the Sand Village. Nemesis sneered, pitiful. Not even Hidan would get caught in this weak attack. This is all the Sand Village has? No wonder. Nemesis looked up to see Deidara safely remove the Super Sand Shield from the village and capture the unconscious Cage. Nemesis used his dark portal to depart, saying, although, at least he isn't worthless. In the village of Rain, Nemesis suddenly showed up and noticed a fascinating location. When he entered the room, Conan was leaning close to Nagato. He cleared his throat. "Should I wait outside?" he inquired, aware that the response would be negative. Pain questioned, "No, no. Was Deidara successful?" Naturally, Pain and Conan understood that when he said, "Our goal," he meant, "My goal." Yes. He was. He'll be at the destination within the hour. Be ready. This will be the first to be sealed. We cannot mess up now. Once we seal the one tail, we will be that much closer to our goal. Also, Hidan and Kakuzu are almost in position to intercept the two tails. They know to take her alive, yes? He inquired. Yes. They do. They know that killing her will set us back 3 years. Nemesis gave a headshake. No, not 3 years. It would set us back far longer than that. More like 100 years, Nemesis replied. Pain and Conan took notice of this. Why so long? Nemesis gave them a look. They wouldn't know what Madara told him, of course. I've timed all of my moves to coincide with not only the anniversary when the first sage of the 6 paths sealed the Jubi, but also when the moon would be full. This will not happen for another 100 years. I don't feel like waiting that long. Now get ready. And Nagato. Nagato gave Darth Nemesis a look. Why? Yes. His power flared as he said, "Pray that Hidan doesn't kill the Two Tails host." Nagato momentarily lost control of his 6 bodies, and Conan fell to her knees. Such power, Nagato uttered in a terrified tone. Once again, Conan said, "Such evil." Deidara and Sasori had just walked in after an hour or so. Pain told the two, "You're late. The Jinchuriki was more difficult to bring down than I originally thought. But we're here," Deidara argued. Pain called forth his statue and said, "It doesn't matter. Let us begin." For the extraction, the other members were called in shortly after. It will not take 3 days and nights. Stay aware of your physical selves, Pain stated. Only 3 days? Isn't it possible that it might take longer than that since this is our first time doing this? Replied Kisame. Pain repeated, "All the more reason to get started." Nemesis said from one finger, "That's true." Each member's symbol soon brought their finger to life. Nemesis merely grinned. This is the first real step toward bringing this world together. Pain shouted, "Sealing Jutsu. 9 phantom dragons." Before long, the room was filled with phantom dragons dancing. And they extracted the single tail host over the course of 3 days and nights. However, they weren't by themselves. Our intruders had gotten past our interference. They'll be here soon, Orochimaru replied. It doesn't matter. We are successful. The one tail is extracted, Pain stated. Deidara remarked, "Man, that took a lot out of me. One of the intruders is the host for the 9 tails. She is right outside and will get inside in a matter of minutes," Orochimaru continued. "If that is the case, use this time wisely to rest up. Deidara, Sasori. Kill the others, but bring me the Jinchuriki." "Another one so soon? Why, I guess I can't help being this awesome, eh?" Deidara replied. Deidara gave Nemesis a look. Other than their leader, they're the only members without a true past. Deidara said, "Nemesis, tell me, what is the Jinchuriki like?" Sasori and Deidara gazed at the composed member of the Holograms group and said, "I'd hate to get your target Nemesis, but business is business." He remained silent. Pain gave the command, "Tell them," but only to maintain appearances. She is calm and collected. She values her friends and family. She will most likely yell at you first because she is friends with the Cage. Deidara questioned, "That's it? No description? These no need. I tell you this because you cannot capture her. She is more than 20 times stronger than the one tail host. Both of you have no hope in beating her. Today we will lose 2 members. Nemesis fled. What an ass. Just for that, when I capture this Jinchuriki, I'm going to laugh in his face," Deidara replied. With Pain and Nemesis. Why did you say that we will lose 2 members? Because I can foresee the future. Out of 100 future outcomes, 99 of them they end up dead. Just that simple, Nemesis replied. Pain stated, "No one can see the future, not even I, a god. Don't lower me to your level, Nagato. You are no god. Even with the eyes of the Rinnegan you are weaker than me." Nemesis grumbled. However, he would acknowledge that he would be difficult to defeat. I didn't mean to pun. Anyway, remind Hidan and Kakuzu to take the two tails alive. She's no good to me dead. Nemesis replied. Lately, his hatred had become more apparent. He returned to Fu's chamber. Sometimes she kept his temper in check. Conan looked disgusted and said, "That boy shows no respect." Even though she felt sorry for the boy, she still detested his behavior. "Don't worry, Conan. He won't kill us. We are too powerful to just kill outright. However, I do fear that Deidara and Sasori are lost to us." Conan gave him a look. Nagato did not respond to the question. "Why do you say that?" Nemesis went to speak with Fu again in her room. "I can feel it, Conan. Can't you? He is losing himself to Madara's will." "I am thankful, truth be told." Conan glanced at him. "Before he came along, I was under Madara's will. I couldn't fight it. I would have done anything if Madara said to do it. Slaughter innocents, kill you even." Conan appeared frightened and startled. However, when Darth Nemesis came around, Madara forced everything he had on him, allowing me to break free from Madara's will, only because that boy was able to fend him off for so long. Had it not been for that boy Conan, I would have been someone else. Madara's puppet and slave. Nagato opened up. Conan glanced at the boy's slipping shape. "He knows it as well. He allows me to live because of that fact, Conan. It is thanks to him that I am saved. I wish I could do the same." Nagato sighed. "All this power, and I can't help a soul more surrounded by darkness and loneliness than even I." Conan took another look. As she opened her heart, Conan said, "He seems so sad." With nausea, Darth Nemesis located Sasori and Deidara by using his portal power. When he visited the cave, he discovered it was in ruins. Sasori was dead in the middle of the cave, which had a recently installed open roof, and there was iron sand all over. "So, you have been defeated. No matter, you and Deidara have served your purpose," Nemesis replied coldly. Then Sasori's body vanished with a single flick of his wrist. Deidara was still alive, he felt. He went out to see if he was still alive. It took Nemesis a full minute to locate him, and when he did, he discovered Deidara encircled by two ninja teams. A man wearing a mask shouted, "Give it up, Akatsuki, it's over." Nemesis recognized Kakashi. Despite his lack of arms, Deidara grinned and said, "I don't think so, I'm only getting started." On the battlefield, nausea spread. This has gone on long enough. His mere presence prevented everyone from taking any action. On the other hand, Mito was upset. "I have 4 years of training." Everyone was on their knees, but soon the pressure was released, and everyone was able to stand up. And the gap between us is just farther apart than ever before. In a relaxed manner, Kakashi remarked, "Wow, that is some scary power you have there." Nemesis simply ignored him, saying, "Leader is pleased. You've done well, Deidara." "Well, there are limits to all of this awesome. Thank you for saving me." Deidara grinned. "All right." Nemesis's black blade pierced Deidara's heart in a dark flash, shocking everyone, but Deidara more than anyone else. "Why?" With blood streaming from his mouth, he managed to ask. "Deidara, your proposal has been fulfilled. You've performed admirably, but now it is over for you." Nemesis pulled his sword out and used a black energy and swung down, vaporizing Deidara in front of everyone there. The black energy darkened the bright day, then was gone. Nemesis looked at the dead ground where Deidara once stood. A fitting end. Nemesis glanced up at the teams that were now encircling him. To such a fool. "You are being brought in for interrogation. Give up now, you're outnumbered," Kakashi uttered, flaming his Sharingan. Nemesis appeared amused, but you couldn't tell because he was wearing a mask. "You believe that numbers will help you win a fight? You have no idea what you're up against, in my opinion. Let me explain." In a flash of darkness, everyone was on the ground, with cuts extending from their shoulders to their mid-body. Mito was the only one who was uncut. She had been so focused on him that she had hardly noticed that he had killed Deidara, but her anger turned to fear when she barely successfully thwarted an attack on her, leaving her team, friends, and comrades beaten before anyone blinked. "I'll allow them to survive. Additionally, there would be no point in taking you in this time," he said. "However, the Kyuubi is nearly at maximum power, and we will soon take it," bringing our objective one step closer to success, he stated. What are you trying to achieve? Why are you in need of us? Mito shouted or inquired, hoping to gain some insight. The Jinchuriki are necessary for me to achieve my goals. I must have the Jinchuriki to bring everyone together under a single banner. Nemesis informed her, I'm leaving at any cost. Mito Uzumaki Namikaze, get stronger. If you're curious about your brother's fate, he walked through a portal that opened. Hold on, Mito screamed and ran after him, but Hinata Hyuga, one of her teammates and best friend, grabbed her leg. Mito, stop, Hinata, let me go. She looked at the portal as it was closing slowly. Die? She threw many kunai and shrunken at the portal as it closed. Even today, her brother was a sensitive and touchy subject. No one brought it up around her or her family. Hinata sighed in relief when the portal closed. That man's evil could be seen and felt. Whatever he was not human. Hinata gasped when she was picked up roughly by Mito. Damn it, Hinata, why did you stop me? Hinata became irate with her lifelong companion, saying, switch it up, Mito. Do you not sense his power? It had nothing to do with chakra. It was much better than all of us put together. Even the Kyuubi and you. Did you not sense it? She had known about the Kyuubi for a while. It never deterred her from being Mito's best friend. Stop being such a baby. And pretend to be the Leaf Village's next Hokage. Hinata's wound had gotten worse from the harsh treatment, so she stopped screaming. Mito didn't realize her entire team was hurt until then. Shadow Clone Jutsu. She created a lot of Clonisa 36, to be exacta, and hurried her team to the Sand Village as fast as she could. Fortunately, a Sand Ninja platoon and Sakura discovered them. Sakura treated the injured, and the elderly woman brought Gaara back to life. Mito was relieved that one of her best friends was back, but her thoughts turned gloomy when she thought about the man in black, a Darth Nemesis, to be exacta, because he knew what had happened to her brother, who killed him, and she would extract it from him, even if it meant leveling the elemental nations. Village of Rain. All right. Deidara was killed by you. If I may ask, why? Conan asked Darth Nemesis. She didn't like killing comrades, but she might not like any of the other Akatsuki. It was easy. I am creating a new world that does not require Deidara. Nemesis' response was unsettling. Once their usefulness ends, none of the other Akatsuki will be needed. Both of them were unnecessary the moment we extracted the One-Tails. Conan's eyes widened and then he became defensive, saying, you Pain are the only one worthy, while he and Nagato both refused to let their last friend die without a fight. Do not worry about her life, Nagato. She is also useful as long as you are. The world will come together once we capture the final three alive. And there will be peace. Nemesis turned to leave. However, his words continued to echo in their ears. Don't worry, Conan. While I'm still here, I'll keep you safe. He assured her, no matter what. He was his last friend and, at one point, his romantic interest. Instead of lying down and dying, she would fight, and she said, and I'll protect you, Nagato. Somewhere else. Someone was pursuing a young woman, and she was fleeing. Dude. What makes them run? It just makes me angry. Stop, Hidan. If you're not careful, she could kill you, a second voice warned the first. I wasn't running away from you, the young woman said, turning to face her assailants. To avoid doing too much harm, I was guiding you away. What? You seem to have been running. It doesn't matter, though. Let's just finish this up. You jerks, don't underestimate me. Her tail beast mode kicked in. In the Village of Leaves, looking out over the village, Minato said, so, your mission was a success and 2 Akatsuki members are now dead. He was relieved that his oldest daughter had returned safely, although he was initially concerned about sending her after Akatsuki. Well, I'm glad everything turned out all right, he said. All of you are dismissed. Please wait a moment, Mito, Minato told his daughter. Father and daughter were left alone in the room by everyone. She sadly said, I'm sorry, father, for what purpose? That individual. Darth Nemesis claimed to have knowledge of Naruto, and I didn't catch him. Mito admitted, I even let my anger get the better of me. Yes. However, you were able to obtain some useful intel. We now know that in order for Akatsuki to rule the world, the remaining Jinchuriki are necessary. The world creates nutcases like these, but only Kami knows why. It's like something from a book. Run along now. Naruto has been pulling pranks on you in the village, and she won't stop until you tell her as well. I can't use my Anbu against her. Consider it an SSS rank mission. Minato remarked sadly, I never thought I'd live to see the day when a little girl can outrun every Anbu I've got. With a chuckle, Mito departed, bowing to her dad. With Kakuzu and Hidan, after defeating the Two Tails host, Hidan was covered in blood from head to toe and her hands were nailed to a wall. Man. That was difficult. She was able to cause me some discomfort, Hidan remarked. Hidan. Kakuzu. Both of them noticed Darth Nemesis when they turned to look behind them. Hey Nemi. How are things going? Darth Nemesis was screamed at by Hidan. Darth Nemesis would have destroyed Hidan where he stood if he hadn't been able to control his emotions and had been more concerned about the Two Tails host's survival. You idiots! Take a look at your work. She's barely breathing. What did you not understand about? We need them alive. They were shouted at by Nemesis. What? She is still alive. Hardly. The leader must be disappointed in you both. Get out. I have to take her to be cured. Nemesis went to the Two Tails host side and removed the pole that had nailed her to the wall, saying, You're lucky she lives, otherwise you'd have to be punished. Oh, yes? What are you going to do about it, a little pansy? Nemesis used his portal to leave, sending both of them to their knees with a single flare of his dark power. Dude. What a jerk. Main base of Akatsuki. Hurrah. When Nemesis saw the Two Tails host, she raised an eyebrow and yelled, Hidan and Kakuzu have outlived their usefulness. Pain appeared instantly. Take them to the capital of fire. Tell Kakuzu that there is good money in it, and have them kill one of the final two fire guardians. That will unleash a swarm of leaf ninjas. Additionally, eliminate 2 headaches and eliminate a few leaf ninjas. But, take. Nemesis made no room for justifications. Pain. You cannot simply send our group members to their deaths in that manner. It contradicts everything that you and Yahiko stand for, Conan objected. I am aware. However, I am at a loss for options. I must contact them. Pain left a bewildered Conan. Shocked that he would do such a thing. Sure, she hold no love for anyone but him. But to do something like that. He opened Fu's door, and this time she wasn't getting dressed. Fu, I need you to heal this woman, he said, bringing the dying Jinchuriki to Fu's room. Over the previous 4 years, Nemesis had made good use of Fu, giving her scrolls on healing salves and other first aid books. She can't heal like a medical ninja because of the 7 tails in her stomach, but she would at least give this Jinchuriki a fighting chance to survive Hidan's foolishness. She is the host of Two Tails. Find out her name when she awakens. I'm sorry to keep referring to her as the host of Two Tails. Tell her the room's rules as well. Tell her that trying to flee is pointless as well. Nemesis placed her on the bed and departed. Please do me a favor when you wake up, Fu said, sighing as he examined the bleeding woman and began working to heal her in the hopes that she could be saved. Unaware of whether the girl heard him, Fu told her, Don't take my head off. It was dark everywhere, but Darth Nemesis was alone in a large room, meditating. That's it, Nemesis. Pay attention to the power I have bestowed upon you. This power belongs to no one else. Not even the mother or sister of Naruto. Or dad. Nobody, but you. Now, nothing and no one can stop you. You are invincible. Madara's voice and will reverberated in Nemesis' mind, and he had to meditate to control his power, which, in contrast to chakra, had no boundaries. The death of all who oppose you. Isn't that what you're looking for, Nemesis? The other Akatsuki have no purpose. Nagato and his pet paper, too. Allow nothing to prevent you from reaching your objective. He concluded, and the voice once more left him Alwana for the time being. My moon's eye plan. My name is Darth Nemesis. He kept saying, I am Darth Nemesis. To someone else, it might seem like he is trying to persuade himself more than anyone else. After a few days, Akatsuki launched another attack. 2 of their members attacked the Fire Temple on orders, killing hundreds of guardians, but their primary target and kill was one of the 2 remaining Fire Lord Royal Guards, leaving only one in the world. Soon after, the 2 Akatsuki members were confronted by Leaf Ninja, led by the final Fire Guardian Asuma Sarutobi. He fought valiantly, but only because the 2 immortal Akatsuki members caught the Leaf Ninja off guard did they lose, and Asuma paid with his life. Nemesis watched the battle from a distance, just to witness it, and it was a low S-rank battle, not something that could even amuse him. The two Akatsuki members were called back for a new assignment after Asuma was fatally wounded. Pain, or more accurately, Nemesis, ordered them to wait for their deaths, saying, "They have no place in the world I'm going to create." Nemesis said to himself, "No one in Akatsuki has a place in my new world. And only I know what I want in my new world." Nemesis grimly stated that the new task, to capture the 9 tails, would be beneficial to him in the long run because he knew they would fail, but she would either be captured or reveal a new move to him. It was not long before Nemesis had to wait for the next Shika Cho trio to confront the immortal pair, with Kakashi leading them. Shikamaru led Hidan away from the others, while Kakuzu faced the group. As Nemesis watched both battles, he knew that Kakuzu would not be defeated by this group, so he watched Shikamaru face and defeat Hidan. Not surprisingly, Nemesis used his dark portal to travel to Kakuzu's battle because Hidan was weak. To his surprise, he saw Mito Uzumaki, who appeared prepared for combat and engaged Kakuzu 1-on-1 with a roar of her final attack. Rasen Shuriken in wind style, she screamed and struck Kakuzu in the back, nearly killing him. Nemesis spread to Kakuzu's body as he said icily, fitting Ensa to such fools. "I've lost. To brats. You have, indeed. You've let Kakuzu down. Goodbye." Nemesis pulled out his sword and vaporized Kakuzu's body to keep his actions secret. Nemesis. When Darth Nemesis turned to face Mito behind him, he grinned, though obviously no one could see. "Long time Mito, a long time." Nemesis, Mio attempted to move, but her body resisted. Nemesis leveled the playing field with them by using his dark flash. "I have to admit, Mito, you've improved greatly since I last saw you," he remarked. "I am impressed." "Stop giving me that crap," she grunted as she attempted to follow him, but Ino held on to her. "No, Mito. Your body hasn't fully recovered yet, so you can't," she informed Mito. "Mito. One of the last few living Uzumaki," Nemesis chuckled. "Are all of the surviving Uzumaki in the Leaf Village, excluding your brother, I wonder?" he pondered aloud to himself. "Where is he?" Mito screamed as Choji and Ino held him up and back. Gazing at her, Nemesis said, "Who? Stop that bullshit from me. You are well aware of who it is." "Oh, your brother. Well, given how well you've done, I'll tell you something about him. But, are you certain you're ready to hear it?" did he ask. "Just tell me." "Very well, your brother is still alive, but that's all I have to say about it. If you want to learn more, get stronger, Mito." Nemesis exited the group through a dark portal. "Nemesis." As the portal closed, she shouted, with nausea. Nemesis went into the pitch black cavern and said, "Why do you have to eliminate our members? Trees are not where they grow." Very painful. However, I don't give a damn. Someone like the majority of this group does not belong in the peaceful world I will create. The only other people I might think about leaving alive are you and Conan. Nemesis walked to the room with Fu and the two-tailed host. "Don't annoy me, Pain. You know better than I do that you can't defeat me." "Cease." Fu yelled, and Nemesis heard it. "Please let me go so that we can leave this place immediately." "You are unable to leave this room." That was ensured by Nemesis. "I'll try. I refuse to lie down and die. Enough. There is no way out," Nemesis shouted as he opened the door. "You won't pass away just yet. The 8 and 9 tails are still required. Until then, you will not die. You have a few liberties, just like Fu. I won't let you leave until my plan is finished." The rules will be explained by Fu. They both fell to their knees as he flared his power, saying, "Follow them." "What power? Kitten, don't make him angry, he will quickly kill you. You are unaware of my strength. I have more power than you do. I'll find you and bring your half-dead body back here if you try to leave. Recognize that I just need you to live long enough for your furry friend to repair any harm done to you." Nemesis turned to go. "Why are you against us? What have we done to you? Why do you despise us?" After stopping, Nemesis turned around and said, "Hate you say?" "You're not understanding," he said, glancing at them. "None of the tailed beasts' hosts are hated by me. You must all be alive for me, in order for my goal of bringing the world together under a single banner to succeed." Be quiet now, and Fu will explain the room's rules to you. I give you more freedom than the other hosts, so know that. Nemesis left the girls to do their thing, wondering how long it would be before the blonde tried to get away. They're far more violent. Things would become much more interesting from this point on. Pain had summoned the last of the Akatsuki, including Konan, Orochimaru, Kisame, Sasuke, Zetsu, and Nemesis himself, his pet paper angel. Nemesis saw that a meeting had been called. We're nearly finished. There are only the 8 and 9 tails left. How is Sasuke's training going, Orochimaru? It couldn't be more ideal. He will be prepared for the task at hand shortly. Good, we've slowed down a bit due to the resentful loss of members. We have to move quickly before the deadline expires. I'm sending you to take the 8 tails, Nemesis, Orochimaru, Sasuke, and Kisame. Failure is not an option. Leader, I was wondering if it would be possible to meet up with a contact before you. No, your contact can wait. For years to come, the 8 tails host will not be permitted to continue itself. Isolation. We can't afford to miss this chance. Request that your contact wait for you. He gritted his teeth and said, of course. If we get the 8 tails, then the ninja world is in trouble. Sasuke and I need to find a way to fail this, and if we are lucky we can get Nemesis and Kisame killed. Nemesis said, we'll leave right away. Finally, some fun. Don't get carried away, Kisame. The 8 tails might be able to kill you, Nemesis replied. Kisame grinned like a shark and said, well, then I will have to show him why I am called the tailless beast. A name like that has no meaning. Let's just concentrate on the current issue. Nemesis told Kisame, we'll catch the 8 tails and get one step closer to our objective. Just go and don't come back if you do not have the 8 tails over your shoulders, Pain stated. Understood. 1 week later, to the dismay of Uchiha, who always detested the masked man because he was unquestionably stronger than him, the 4 of them were walking in silence toward the location where their spy had reported the 8 tails host was. He would simply wait for the right moment. Kisame, since you have the best chance of the 3 of you, you will face the 8 tails first. Until you die, you fight. If you fail, Kisame, Orochimaru and Sasuke will face him together. If the 2 of you fail, I'll deal with him. Nemesis explained the strategy to them. Why ought we to adhere to that plan? Sasuke attempted to agitate Nemesis, but it appears that you're just a coward like I've witnessed. I'm not a coward. I simply don't have the time or energy to waste on the 8 tails. I can only be threatened by the Uzumaki and the 9 tails power. You give the impression that you're more powerful than the leader? Is that accurate? Said Kisame. Remain focused on the current issue, Kisame. You would be smart to do that. Nemesis stated in a gloomy and icy manner, unless you want to end up like the others. We are here. There was a lake close by, and the group could see where they were, a rocky area. Excellent. Kisame said, I got this. Kisame, failure means death. Nemesis used his sword as a cane and said, don't fail. No issue. Kisame grinned and said, it will be fun. Avoid being a fool. Simply complete the tasks at hand, Orochimaru advised. A later hideout of Akatsuki. The 8 tails host's nearly lifeless body was dumped into his room, cell. I take it that Kisame has passed away? Asked Pain. He has indeed fallen. He did, however, come close to beating the 8 tails by himself. We are nearly finished, Nemesis uttered. Sasuke and Orochimaru, still in shock and terror, said nothing. In summary, Kisame was having too much fun playing with the 8 tails host and was on the verge of being beaten when Nemesis became irritated. In a split second, Nemesis killed Kisame and defeated the 8 tails host Killer B. Orochimaru even thought that Nemesis was stronger than the Hokage and his wife, which was extremely frightening to think about. Still a little frightened of Darth Nemesis, Orochimaru finds his voice and says, now then. If you will allow it, I wish to find my spy in the leaf. He has an update regarding the 2 hosts of Kyuubi. With his silver tongue, Orochimaru uttered, and I think Darth Nemesis should come because this information would be most helpful to him in his capture of the 9 tails host. I concur. Join them in locating this spy, Darth Nemesis, and then get ready to capture the host of the 9 tails. Pain addressed the remaining Akatsuki, excluding Konan and himself. All right, let's track down this spy and his data. Orochimaru could use it, but before we leave, I have to make a quick stop. Nemesis departed the group to visit the two female-tailed beast hosts. He found the room quickly, but it was a mess, and when he opened the door, he saw that the two-tailed host did not like her new room. He had no idea why they were fighting. "You can't do that, I told you," Fu shouted. "And I told you that I don't care," Yugito shouted. "You're not getting it." If Nemesis Fu halted upon noticing Nemesis observing them. He said sarcastically, "I'm glad that you two are getting along so well." Nemesis was charged by Yugito. "Avoid harming her," Fu shouted. As Yugito attempted to punch Nemesis, her hand became encased in flames, and Nemesis seized it, bending it back. "Arg!" She attempted to remove her hand from Nemesis's tight grip. With much more force in his voice and grip, Nemesis said, "Say you'll be a good little kitty and behave for the remainder of your stay." She said, "Noah," and the power was beginning to aggravate her even more. "Saya Ida," Nemesis repeated. "Kitten, do it." "I have never experienced his power." In her mind, Yugito heard the cat say, "Even the 8 tails. Even, I dare say, Kyubi." All right. Speak it. Tell me that I'll be a good cat, and I'll let you go." Yugito sensed the smile behind Nemesis' mask. She hatefully said, "I'll be a good kitty." She didn't want to say it. Nemesis let her go. "Good." She collapsed and gave him a savage glare. "I came only to inform you that only the 9 tails remain. The 8 tails, or Killer Bee as he referred to himself, have been apprehended." He opened the door as he was leaving and said, "But do not worry, no matter how this ends, the two of you will know peace." He then closed the door after saying, "Now we are one more tailed beast before we can achieve my goal. Let us go." "Sasuke and Orochimaru," Nemesis said as he made his way to the main chamber. "Let's track down your spy and find out what he has to say about the 9-tailed host. Then leave. Additionally, learn as much as you can about the previous host. Go and don't let me down," Pain said to Akatsuki's final breath. Nemesis was grinning, but no one could see it. Heaven and Earth Bridge. "So, Lord 3rd Hokage, how does this work again?" a young woman inquired. "A double agent is our friend. We will bring him in for interrogation after he lures the Akatsuki members out. We must keep him alive. According to what Orochimaru stated, there will be nausea. Sarutobi stated as much." A dark smile appeared on Mito's face, and everyone could see it. "I will enjoy hurting him." "Slow down, Mito. You want, I know that. Avoid telling me to relax. He is aware of my brother's fate, as well as his location. I will discover my brother Hinata's fate. Regardless," Mito uttered. "Slow down for the time being, Mito. This is where it is." 3 figures appeared. They heard someone say over the comm, "It's Orochimaru, Sasuke and Hima." Mito, who could barely contain her rage and hatred, saw Nemesis leading the 3 traitors, or monsters as some would refer to them, and said, "Everyone, stick to the plan." With the spy nearby, the 3 Akatsuki members stood in the middle of the bridge. Orochimaru said to the spy, "Ah, it's good to see you again, Kabuto." "Enough. I don't have time for idle chatter. Describe the youngest of the 9-tailed hosts for me." Nemesis informed Kabuto that she was the weaker of the 2. "No issue. Mito Uzumaki, the heir of the greatest clan and host of 9 tails, is not as strong as people think. She is frail. The claim that she beat Kakuzu is untrue." Kabuto could feel Mito's eyes trying to burn his head off. "She is impulsive and hard-headed," he said, referring to the copycat ninja Kakashi who killed Kakuzu. "Training is a waste of time for anyone." Kabuto grinned while continuing to tell falsehoods, adding, "She is actually leaving on a mission shortly, so you could pick her up then. She would be simple to deal with." "Well, is that all the knowledge you possess about Mito?" Kabuto nodded in response to Nemesis's question. "Well, I must admit that I'm disappointed in your spy Orochimaru. I've learned a lot more from my own spy. He informed me of her true strength. Why don't you call in your backup now?" Nemesis added, "and tell Mito to come out too, if she wants to know about her brother." A large group of people emerged, including Hinata Hyuga, a man named Yamato, an unidentified pale boy named Sai, Tsunade, Jiraiya, and finally the 3rd Hokage. Mito was the first to emerge, her face twisted in a snarl. "Orochimaru, it appears that your spy deceived me. I'll give everyone a fair warning. If you leave now, I won't harm any of you. You can't manage us all. Are you aware of our collective power? Tsunade inquired. You seem to have forgotten my strength. Nemesis told him, tell them, Orochimaru, tell your friends how strong I am. Tell your former teacher and old friends how strong I am. I've known you were a traitor since the day you joined us, Orochimaru and Sasuke said, their eyes widening. Sasuke as well. You brought me here to ambush me in the hopes that numbers and your friend's strength would defeat me, but what you don't know. Nemesis removed his robe to reveal his dark steel armor, his dark sheen that seemed to emanate, and his dark energy that everyone could see and feel. Come. As Nemesis' power flared, the wind increased, and everyone felt powerless in his presence. The boy's head fell off as Nemesis' dark flashed in front of Sai, and he killed him with a single swing of his dark blade. Everyone was too shocked, but Mito was more enraged than shocked. She approached Nemesis but was swatted away with a single backhand, and Hinata caught her. He would be unable to fight for the remainder of the day after Yamato attempted to entangle him in wood, but Nemesis' blade sliced through them like air and sliced Yamato across the chest. Come on, do you have anything else? Kabuto attempted to use his chakra blade to cut off his head, but Nemesis used his dark flash to first cut off Kabuto's hand and then his head. I have no time to deal with weaklings like you, Nemesis said. I must say that I'm disappointed. Chidori. Nemesis turned to face Sasuke, who was holding Chidori. At first, Nemesis remained motionless, but as Sasuke got close, he put his boot in his stomach and then spun his head, knocking him out of the fight. Hinata also caught him. After Mito changed him with a pure white blade, Nemesis used his own black blade to block her attack and then backhanded her once more to remove her from the battle. Nemesis turned half-way to face the three fabled Sannin when he heard them land behind him. You need to discover the Sannin's power now, all three of them said simultaneously. Them come and show me your power, your hope. Nemesis put away his blade, then stoked his dark power, saying, so I can show you true power and shatter your hope. Nemesis knew that Tsunade's power behind her fist could level mountains, so he matched it, breaking her hand with a punch to her fist before kicking her in the head and sending her across the bridge. Hinata was able to capture her teacher and save her life. Rasengan. In an attempt to defeat this monster, Jiraiya used all of his strength in his Rasengan. Rasengan Cannon, Dark Sage Arts. Nemesis' hand sent a dark beam of energy toward Jiraiya, who deflected the attack with his short-lived Rasengan technique. When the dark energy struck Jiraiya, he was also vanquished. However, the third Hokage caught him as he was about to die and placed him close to Hinata, who was too busy tending to all of the other wounded ninjas. The Snake Sword. The third Hokage was there in the hopes that his student would survive, but Orochimaru's attempt to cut Nemesis in half with the sword that could cut through anything broke when it struck Nemesis' armor. Orochimaru's shocked expression was not due to the fact that his sword was gone, but rather to the fact that Nemesis turned around and almost cut him in half. Hinata. Tsunade. Medic. He shouted. After examining his work, Nemesis said, I guess that's it. He began to leave, his hollow voice echoing in their minds, disappointing. He had less than a minute to remove the Leaf's elite. I haven't finished with you. Mito came running after him. Mito no. Heal Tsunade and the others, Hinata. As he pursued Mito, the third Hokage gave the order, they need you now. Nemesis surveyed the area, then used his dark power to clear the forest before Whitinga. He didn't have to wait longer while Mito directed all of her rage at him. Infamous soundtrack. End of the road. Final boss battle, Kessler, with Nemesis and Mito. And now we are. It started right there. Are you familiar with this, Mito? As they both looked around, Nemesis said. When Mito looked around, she was astounded to see that her house and the neighborhood looked exactly like Naruto's death scene. You bastard, you were present. Obviously. I've been there all my life. Nemesis used his dark flash movement to put some distance between himself and Mito. Dark Sage Arts. Rasengan Bomb. Nemesis fired 3 dark colored spheres around and close to Mito. With Yua and with Naruto, every step of your life. Mito dodged the exploding bombs with her agility, and she threw her kunai at him, but he moved too quickly for her to hit him in that manner. Dark Sage Arts. Cannon of Dark Lighting. Nemesis fired a big and powerful lighting beam of energy at Mito. She dodged it. He fired again and again, she dodged, and he fired once more and once more, she dodged. Your brother was jealous of you. You are the Kyuubi's Jinchuriku. You were mistakenly given all that power that should have been his. Did you know that he secretly detested you, Mito? Nemesis questioned her, frightened. You're a jerk. As she ducked another of his ranged blows, she shouted, wind style. Wind blade slash. Mito attempted a counter-offensive. Nemesis knocked the wind blade away from him with his power. Dark sage art. Dark lighting. Nemesis grabbed Mito and threw her to the middle of the clearing using his lighting. Nemesis flashed in front of Mito as she slowly stood up, then seized her wrists and said, this time, Nemesis, you're not going anywhere. As she struggled to get close enough to grasp his face, she tried and tried again, growling as she did so. But Mito was far too weak against Nemesis. You're a failure, weak, and all of this has been for nothing. Dark energy poured from his hand to her head as he grasped her face. It paralyzed her. I can't move, she said. I've been really disappointed in you. I'll just take you in now. Nemesis approached her motionless body. Dragon flame bombs. Fire style. As soon as he saw the attack, Nemesis destroyed them before they could get to him. Nemesis turned to face the newcomer, who was the third Hokage who had saved Mito. Mito. Hurry. Between Nemesis and Mito, the third Hokage said, I'll keep him away. You old man, don't worry about this. The force sent the old Hokage flying as Nemesis spun his blade, quickly drew it, and slashed him, just as he had done Mito so long ago. Old man. As the sensation returned to her body, Mito screamed. After putting his blade away, Nemesis said, Mito, nobody is going to save you this time. When I beat the fuck out of you, you won't be so arrogant, she shouted angrily. She attempted to counterattack using wind and water jutsu, but nothing seemed to work as Nemesis threw his homemade bombs again, which Mito avoided. Energy bolts shot out of Nemesis's hand bomb as he slammed his fist into the ground, causing an earthquake. This is nothing, he said. Nemesis said aloud, nothing compared to what is coming, which knocked Mito off balance. Returning to her feet, Mito attacked him with a nine-tailed Rasengan in her hand. However, Nemesis simply pushed her aside. Naruto held you responsible for his wretched existence, claiming that you ought to have been the one who entered the house and was burned. He was unloved after the incident. After all, no one is more in love with a sister who is Kyuubi's Jinchuriku than with a child who lacks chakra. That isn't how Naruto is. She stood up, only to confront Nemesis again. Dark Sage Arts. Cannon of Dark Lighting. Mito continued to dodge until an opening appeared as Nemesis launched another one of his attacks, which seemed to rob the area of all light for each attack. How could you tell? Shall we take a look back at your family? The greatest and fourth Hokage, your father, your mom. Known as the Red Death, the second Jinchuriku of the Kyuubi, was the wife of the fourth Hokage and one of the best swordswomen in Leaf Village. Then you, at last. One of the two heroes who keeps the Kyuubi at bay is the third Jinchuriku of the Kyuubi. Who was Naruto? Nothing. A nobody. No one loves the hero. Less member of an all-hero family. Nemesis taunted once more, using his dark lighting cannon once more. He tried to fall to one knee after unleashing his fourth straight dark lighting cannon. Mito seized the chance to unleash her full potential, charging at Nemesis with her ultimate attack. Wind style. Rasen. Shuriken. She got close, and hit him with everything she had. Die. She screamed in the hopes that her tormentor would be defeated by her most powerful blow. Her attack subsided after a full minute had passed. End famous soundtrack. Final boss battle. End of the road, Kessler. After saying, huff, huff. Yeah, I did it, she fell to her knees. With horror, Mito looked up and said, not bad at all. Nemesis stood in front of her, looking as worn out as ever. Mito's point of view. With his fingers digging into my skull, Nemesis seized me. I initially believed it was over. However, after that, he showed me some terrible things. It was a monster that was not like any other. Image of the Jubi slaughtering everyone, women and children screaming as the monster devours them. Its power was unparalleled and unstoppable. When my friends and family fought this thing, I witnessed their deaths. Then as quickly as I saw the visions, they had vanished. I raised my head. Behind his mask, I could feel this man's smile. I immediately realized that he was the reason behind my vision. He had made way for the supreme power. A force capable of killing everyone. And he had no intention of stopping it. He turned away and told me that he was going to murder everyone and everything I cared about in order to gain absolute power. He walked away after saying, "I need the Kyuubi at full power. Capturing you now would be pointless," into his own dark portal. When I finally got up to walk to the others, I saw Hinata healing the whole team. 3 people are dead, including the elderly Hokage. Hinata was attempting to rescue the members who were capable. I knelt beside the elderly man. I also started crying. Knowing that he died trying to save me made me cry. Additionally, I was unable to kill his murder. We left for home once everyone who was still alive could walk. 3 less. We brought them back. We performed a service for the 3rd Hokage when we arrived. I give the elderly man one last glance before turning to go because I detest Nemesis and I intend to find and murder him. Typical point of view. In the rain was Mito, standing above the 3rd Hokage's and her brother Naruto's gravestone. Nemesis's words were still blazing in her mind. "Your brother was jealous of you. You the Jinchuriku of the Kyuubi. All that power that should have been his was given to you by mistake. He secretly hated you, did you know that, Mito?" She said aloud. Did my brother really hate me? Hinata was in the trees behind her, her closest companion. Mito had spoken to herself, and she had heard it, and she was deeply saddened by it. Naruto blamed you for his miserable life, saying that it should have been you that went into the house and got burned. After the incident he was unloved. After all, no one loves a child that can't use ninjutsu compared to a sister that is the Jinchuriku of Kyuubi. Mito started to cry a little. She whispered, "Do you hate me, Naruto?" After hearing enough, Hinata started to walk over to her friend. Mito. Hinata was completely soaked from being in the rain. Mito gave her friend a look. Hinata attempted to elicit a response from Mito by saying, "Hey Mito." Hinata saw Mito crying and said, "It's my fault, Hinata." Mito started to whimper. "It should have been me that went back into the house. Not Naruto." What was Naruto? Nothing. A no one. No one loves the hero less member of an all-hero family. Mito broke down in tears. She realized that Nemesis might have been correct after hearing those words. No one cared for Naruto in comparison to her. She wasn't harmed by the people. No Mito. It's not your fault. If it is anyone's fault then it is Nemesis' fault. He is the one that did that to Naruto. Not you. Naruto was just being a big brother helping you. Hinata attempted to console Mito. "It's my fault." Hinata never shouted, "No it's not," before. Mito awoke from herself. Inflicted guilt. Hinata started crying with her as she said, "You're not the only one that misses him, Mito. You mom, your dada me." The Hokage Tower. As it rained, Minato looked out over the Leaf Village. His voice was quiet as he said, "Even the heavens weep." Kushina told her husband, "I know. Mito blames herself for the 3 roads' death." Minato repeated in a low voice, "I heard. The 3rd saved her at the cost of his life. I would thank him 100 more times if I could." When Kushina asked, "What should we do?" I sent Jiraiya to the Rain Village. It is rumored that the Akatsuki leader hides there. If it is true then we could get a leg up on them, said Minato. Alone. Minato grinned carelessly and said, "That's the way he likes it. I hope the old pervert will be alright. After all." In an attempt to lighten the situation, he said, "That old pervert still owes me money." All Kushina could do was hope. Village of Rain. Nemesis shouted, "Pain," to get Pain's and Conan's attention. Pain questioned, "What is it, Nemesis? The time has come. Kyuubi is almost at full power and we can ill afford to let the weaker of the two to get any stronger than she already has. Mito Uzumaki is almost at Conan's level as it. With training, she'll be at your level then mine. We cannot allow her to gain such a level," Nemesis stated to them. Pain and Conan were both surprised that he would say that. Why didn't you just capture her then? You could have. No, she needed to felt guilt and sadness on a whole other level before she was ready. Now all of her negative emotions have reached a boiling point. Soon the Kyuubi will be ready and so will we. You two need to go to the Leaf Village and gather Mito Uzumaki. Once she is gathered, We will know the order in which the rest of the tailed beast need to be sealed in. Nemesis appeared pleased. Nemesis looked over the village and said, once that is down we shall have a peace. Pain glanced to the left and said, what is it? Some has entered the villagia and has disturbed my reign. Who could it be? Conan inquired. Nemesis gave him a look. Nemesis left them to their own devices, saying, I don't care who. Get rid of them. I must meet with Fu, I still have a promise to keep. Nemesis was imprisoned with the other Jinjuriku deep within the cave. He approached the door where Yugito and Fu were being detained. Fu asked if one of the other female Jinjuriku could share a room with her, which was the only reason Yugito was in the same room as him. She must occasionally feel lonely. When he heard nothing, Nemesis was outside her door. He walked in after opening the door. He noticed that they were both sleeping. This was odd. He believed Yugito would have been in the room he put them in all day trying to figure out how to get out. He entered and covered them with the blanket. Naturally, they shared a bed in order to save money. Something made Darth Nemesis feel sorry, sad, and regretful. Madara's voice shouted to him, all of those emotions are weak. They make you weak. Throw them out. Noah. You are weak. Nemesis, you must never feel for your tools. That's all they area tools. A means to an end. You use Tama then lose them. Nothing more, nothing less. Have you forgotten everything I taught you? Madara yelled once more. I am not you. Yes you are. I saved you, I trained you, I own you. No Onia owns me. Say why you are Darth Nemesis. You are Darth Nemesis. The dark child of prophecy. Still under Madara's influence, Nemesis's frail mind was unable to withstand any more than he already had. Madara controlled Nemesis even after she died. Nemesis repeated, I will carry out my plan. I will unite this world under one banner. He went to his room and removed his mask to take another look at himself in the mirror. The monster beneath was visible to him. His face, scarred by the flames. A time in the past that he can't recall. Nemesis held his head against a voice he recognized but didn't recognize. I love you, brother. Nemesis held his head in excruciating pain once more and said, you'll be Hokage, just like father, I know it. I know what pervy sage said to mom and dad. I don't care. You'll save the world, not destroy it. I know this, because you're my brother. Nemesis dropped to his knees. He questioned, that voice, who is it? Once more, Madara's voice said, ignore that voice of the past. It has no relevance to you now. That is someone else's life. No brother. This is not you. You have no family. You are Darth Nemesis, the dark child of prophecy. It is your life, not his brother. You can stop this, all of it, just come home. You have no home. Destroy them all, Nemesis shouted. Shut up. As the voices ceased, it might not have been visible to Nemesis, or perhaps no one was around to witness it. He felt shook. He had never been so shaken in his life. He had a lot of work to do, though. There was nothing else he could think about. As Nemesis reached the summit of the tower, Conan was being battered. He inquired, what happened to you? She responded, I didn't know you cared. I don't. But as long as you are Akatsuki, I need all members to be at their fullest, if not, he replied. In response, Conan said, my old sensei, even as old as he is still really strong. I see as pain dealing with him. Yes. Nemesis departed in a burst of gloomy light, saying, Ma, I think I will go and watch. It will be interesting to see. She asked herself, I wonder if he is as strong as he claims. She would never ask that in front of him, he noted. Jiraiya versus Pain. When the fight was halfway over, nausea struck. By now, Pain was consuming 3 bodies. Nemesis heard one of the elderly toads perched on Jiraiya's shoulder exclaim, 3 at once. We can take them. Alright, alrighty. Nemesis watched the 3-on-1 from a distance. To his surprise, Jiraiya was winning. Nonetheless, it could be related to Nemesis's ability to detect sage power in Jiraiya. Not nearly as strong, and not like his. However, they still exist. Nemesis watched as Jiraiya and Pain engaged in a head-to head battle. The brief 3-on-1 fistfight ended quickly. The 3 were soon in the middle of their small battle pad after Jiraiya struck each of them with a Rasengan. Let's settle this in one burst. He slammed his speed into the air. hitting them all. Massive Rasengan. He slammed a strong Rasengan down on them all at once. Nemesis was not impressed at all by the old fool's power. But the summon Pain rose. It called forth a huge bull, which lunged towards Jiraiya. One toad said, "Jiraiya. Boy, here it comes." Jiraiya turned to counterattack after dodging. The attack ate up the bull, fire style. Giant flame bombs. "Did we get him?" inquired Jiraiya. Pain then emerged from the flames and used one of the black rods to attack Jiraiya while in the air. Just before the rod could pierce him, Jiraiya grabbed it. He was suppressing it. It was not good, he told himself. Genjutsu. I know. Nemesis heard the croaking of a toad or frog. Then the pain stopped him in his tracks. Nemesis questioned, "A genjutsu strong enough to fool the Rinnegan?" A little more impressed, if only a little. "Farewell," Jiraiya said icily. Pain was then stabbed. As the toad sage started conversing with his two toads perched on his shoulders, Nemesis observed. He was aware that it was far from over. Then he noticed something that piqued his curiosity. He could see the green old toad staring at him. Odd, given that no one is taught to feel his power unless he is actually using it in combat. When he is not engaged in combat, only another sage with nearly equal power of the same power type or its opposite can sense him. "You taught me never to let my guard down, didn't you, sensei?" said Pain. Then Jiraiya took a huge blow from that pain. Jiraiya suffered serious injuries. The two soon started conversing, Jiraiya mainly to himself. The toads left Jiraiya after a brief conversation. Nemesis heard Pain say to himself, "The frogs got away." Jiraiya got to his feet. Pain told his former teacher, "What's this? You know that nothing you do now will change anything in the end." "Maybe not. But as long as I can move one finger one little bit, I will not give up," Jiraiya exclaimed. "Then let's see it. Let's see you change this." Impossible desperate circumstances. Jiraiya was stranded on a small rock island when the 6 bodies of Pain split apart. Play Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 2's Lightless Struggle. Ia will a fight. "You're a very poor loser. What's the point of doing all that?" asked Pain. The first Pain was attacked by Jiraiya, but the second and third Pains were able to kick and strike him over the head. One Pain leapt away and said, "At least one of them." Another Pain body punched Jiraiya in the back, saying, "Ida won't go that well." As Jiraiya was about to strike it, one Pain leapt away and said, "There's too many of them." Foolisha. Jiraiya kicked Jiraiya in the back of the head after one of the Pains came down and struck him. Jiraiya fought with another Pain body, asking, "Don't you understand yet? You'll never defeat me like that." Jiraiya felt another Pain strike his head. Jiraiya punched and kicked back, but the main Pain body's black rod attacked him instead. "Arg," Jiraiya said, "I can't stay upright." She collapsed to the ground and started to crawl. "Not good. My vision has become blurry." At this point, all 6 Pain bodies formed a 6-pointed star. And each struck Jiraiya, slicing a black rod across his back. They all leapt away when they struck him. "I'll give you that you did well to get this far, Buddha." All 6 of them leapt into the air. They all pretended to hit Jiraiya's back. Each Pain did so with a huge shockwave. Gah! Jiraiya's mouth gushed blood. Jiraiya thought, "Curses as his body began to die. Am I going to die? I'm fading. Am I? I've failed. I'll never go back on my word, until I become Hokage. There's no way I'm going to die," declared a resolute Mito. "I know my brother is alive. So if being smart means what you say, then I'll remain a fool my entire life." "You never gave up no matter what, Mito." Jiraiya had a lot of flashbacks to his time training Mito. Then, Jiraiya started to stand up. "If that's the case, Jiraiya stood up. He came back to life and said, "I must not give up." Nemesis was impressed. Pain sensed his vitality returning. All of the Pain bodies rushed at Jiraiya, who was still attempting to stand up, saying, "Tisk. You're quite stubborn, just give up. The point is being taken by the summon of Pain." Jiraiya made a typical Rasengan and said, "Give up. You'll never make Maya," he exclaimed as his Rasengan grew really big. The pain has all subsided. Jiraiya yelled, "Give up," and struck the summoned Pain body with his giant Rasengan. "Ah!" Jiraiya boosted his Rasengan's power. Jiraiya used all of his strength, but the summon pain body was completely destroyed by the amount of power he put into the Rasengan, and he fell, too. For a moment, Pain's former teacher remained silent. Pain said out loud to himself, aside from Darth Nemesis, there can be no higher honor than that. Only you could have gotten this far. Nemesis leapt to the floor. Truly impressive of him. To destroy a body of yours. Even I have to try to do the same thing. Anyway, how long will this postpone your trip to the Leaf Village? Nemesis responded. Pain stated, a week for Soraya, maybe 2. Nemesis used his dark portals to leave, saying, that's okay. Don't rush it. The Jubi is ready to be whole again. I must be going now. I have a few things to attend to. Around the world, people heard about Jiraiya's passing. Battle with the Akatsuki's leader claimed Jiraiya's life. No one was more affected by the news than his student and teammates, the Sannin. And lastly, the family of his teammates. When Orochimaru and Team Guy learned of the news, they were on a mission. But it was too early for them to return. For heard a rumor that was too profound to simply disregard. They recall what they heard. They heard it after they had halted for the night to rest at a bar. One customer told his friend, did you hear? That Darth Nemesis monster is said to be nearby. What? Should we tell some ninja? What? Hell no. You know what would happen to us if we told anyone? Darth Nemesis will kill us. He is said to be more powerful than any other person in the world. The first one continued. The second one questioned, what is he doing here anyway? I got drunk with some guy that claimed to be a scientist's assistant. He said that Darth Nemesis has captured some living Uzumaki clan members. The first of them replied. The team took notice of this. The first one repeated, the guy said that soon Darth Nemesis will no longer need them and he will kill them. The second one repeated, why would he kill them? Aren't all other Uzumaki clan members all dead? The first repeated, no, apparently some still live. Most of them in the Leaf Village. Enough was said by Orochimaru. He walked over to the two. Excuse me. Can you tell me where I can find this man that you talked to? The two men pivoted. And who's asking, stranger? Inquired the first man. He lifted his hood to reveal his face and said, oh, no one in particular. Both men froze when he said, just Orochimaru of the Sannin. He gave me his death glare and said, now tell me where can I find him? Both men passed out and pissed their pants after telling him where he could find the man. Simply put, not in that sequence. Orochimaru quickly located the man with the large mouth. In a different order, the man performed the same action. With Nemesis Darth Nemesis made his way to a cell, one of his special cells. Outside of the Leaf Village, it housed 2 of the final 3 members of the Uzumaki clan. Karen and Tayuya were the names of these girls. A few of the Uzumaki clan's remaining members. He went to their cell and saw them. He treated them differently than he did the 2 Jinchuriku women. He watched Karen speak to him and said, Yusahida? You said that after you were Donia that you'd let us go back to our families, she responded. Nemesis told them, yes, I did say that. He opened the door to their cell. A scroll was then thrown to their feet. After saying, you will be leaving us soon. He let them think on their own. After a few hours, Guy and Orochimaru had succeeded. They had snuck into the lab and saved 2 of the world's last remaining Uzumaki, but the group halted. Darth Nemesis was across the bridge into the land of fire. He could see the monster's eyes staring at him through his mask. But Orochimaru told the young Guy clone, Leah, take her. Lee questioned, what are you saying, Lord Orochimaru? Guy, you and Lee are to take these girls to the village. You are not to stop until you get there. I will hold Darth Nemesis here, he instructed them. No, Lord Orochimaru. Let me and Tenten hold him here. If he kills you, then we will have that much of a difficult time to defeat him in the future. Neji replied. Tenten concurred. Noah, the 2 of you would die in seconds if that. I at least can stall him for a few minutes. This is my last command to you, Guy. Follow it. Guy gave a nod. Neither Lee nor the rest of the team argued further. Lee. Take the young lady Uzumaki. We must leave now. The group decided to go the extra mile. In order to reach the clearing where Nemesis was waiting, Orochimaru crossed the bridge. Orochimaru chuckled and said, you're a fool. You know that you stand no chance against me. Nemesis questioned, "What's so funny?" "Oh, nothing, Mucha, just laughing at the irony, I guess. I used to always call my old teammate Jiraiya a fool all the time. He was truly my best friend in the end. And now he has fallen. He was a powerful man, Orochimaru. There was no shame in his defeat." Nemesis acknowledged. Nemesis placed himself in his stance and said, "Just like when you fall before me, you should put up quite a fight." Orochimaru also assumed his fighting stance, saying, "I suppose the time of Orochimaru, the snake Sannin of the 3 legendary Sannin ninja of the Leafa, shall come to an end, being aware that today is his death date. Watch the Dark Colossus destroys everything. The most amazing battle OSTs ever." Orochimaru charged at Nemesis, snatching up his repaired snake sword. He was the most knowledgeable about Nemesis because he had spent years with this monster. But what he did know was virtually nothing. As if the attack were insignificant, Nemesis slackly blocked with his own black sword, which meant nothing to him. Orochimaru shouted, "Shadow striking snake," before attacking. He hoped it would entangle him for a few seconds, but he knew it would do nothing. But before the snakes could even approach Nemesis, they were torn to shreds. "Why bother trying to save those girls? Why fight for someone you know nothing about?" asked Nemesis. Orochimaru was delighted to respond. Guy and his team will have more stall time. He responded to his former partner by saying, "You could never understand." "You're right. I guess I can't. I never did get to have a family that loved me. Not when Madara got his hands on me. But enough of the past." Nemesis attacked, but he had only his blade to use. Orochimaru was perplexed by this because he knew that if he tried harder than this, Nemesis could kill him. Nemesis seemed to be trying to prolong this. Nemesis detested prolonging things in this way. What is he doing? Orochimaru reflected. He was never one to play around when he was serious. Nemesis backhanded Orochimaru across the field, jolting him out of his reverie. Nemesis told Orochimaru, "This has gone on long enough. I cannot allow those girls to reach the Leaf Village. Prepare to die." Orochimaru was not far behind. Nemesis uses his Rasengan Dark Bombs on Orochimaru in Dark Sage Arts, Rasengan Bomb. Orochimaru, however, avoided them all by using his snake. Like speed. He was searching his mind during this period, trying to think of something to counterattack with. He gathered the necessary energy, which was different from Toad Sage mode, and said to himself, "This form is not strong enough to attack back. I need to use my Sage mode." "What is he doing?" "What?" Nemesis asked. "According to the attack, doesn't matter." Dark Sage Arts. Dark Lighting Cannon. Struck it directly. He told himself, "It can't be that easy." Then there was a rumble in the land. In an attempt to see through the smoke, Nemesis cocked his head. Before long, he didn't have to. Giant wings emerged from the smoke, he saw. Then he was hit by an energy beam. He used his sword to block it. He was taken aback for the first time in a long time. In fact, he had to push that attack away. What the smoke concealed from him shocked him even more. The Dragon Sage mode was activated for Orochimaru. I see that old Toad Sage Wanna.be isn't the only Sage Wanna.be the Leaf has to offer. I wonder I wonder how much Jiraiya suffered before he died. Orochimaru maintained his composure. However, his only desire was to tear Nemesis to pieces. Orochimaru screamed, "This is my ultimate form, Darth Nemesis. I will kill you here and now." In his Dragon Sage, Orochimaru was more powerful and swift than ever. Orochimaru made every effort, but without success, to even scratch Nemesis. Nemesis simply avoided everything that Orochimaru did. It appeared to Orochimaru that Nemesis was enjoying himself excessively simply by playing with him. Nemesis simply used his arm to block Orochimaru's true snake sword attack rather than launching a counterattack. Nemesis would simply use his dark flash to dodge Orochimaru's long-range attacks without launching a counterattack. Nemesis simply ducked when Orochimaru rose high to try to decapitate her in Dark Sage Arts. Rasengan. Orochimaru felt nausea strike him squarely in the stomach. Orochimaru was launched far across the field by the attack. He questioned, "Is that all you got?" Below him, he sensed and heard a rumbling in the ground. Then, from the dust cloud, 3 energy beams blasted at him. Nemesis easily avoided all 3 of them. Then 8 long, big things also emerged from the dust. He saw 8 heads that resembled dragons. One of them had Orochimaru's nude upper half on its head. This is the true form of the dragon. Snake Sage. Only one who was redeemed in the Snake Sage's eyes can become like this. Orochimaru exclaimed. Orochimaru exclaimed. Dragon. Snake Sage art. Rail cannon. As the dragon heads began to glow from their bodies to their mouths, a tremendous chakra buildup was felt by Nemesis. One enormous ball of chakra was formed by all the heads pointing inward. Nemesis thought to himself, it is similar to the tailed beast Bomba, just not as powerful. It will be easy enough to get away from. Orochimaru shouted, I will end you with this Nemesis. I will protect them. Orochimaru lashes out at Nemesis with his final blow. All Tua. When he was immobile, he looked down. His feet had something sticky on them. He glanced up at the oncoming assault. Well played, Orochimaru. The wind from the attack blew his cape back. With the dragon. Snake Sage art. Rail cannon. A huge explosion accumulated. Orochimaru had thrown everything into his trap and attack. I was aware that Nemesis was playing tricks on me and wasn't paying attention. I therefore anticipated that he would remain motionless and avoid my last-minute attack. I took advantage of that by having one of my summons apply a very sticky liquid glue. Orochimaru told the readers how he used his small trick to induce nausea, saying, I know he has no legs, so he would never feel it until he tried to Move Iwona. An action that all ninjas take when they accomplish a task that everyone anticipates. End. The Dark Colossus destroys everything. One of the greatest battle OSTs ever. Orochimaru continued to breathe heavily, hoping to see what remained of Nemesis's body, a mangled mass of flesh and stela, when the smoke cleared. The voice said, Dark Sage Artsa, and Orochimaru's eyes grew wide. A chakra chains. Orochimaru was chained, along with all of his dragon heads and tails. He was unable to move much in his dragon form. Nemesis was standing where he was when he was struck by his attack, and Orochimaru could see the dust clearly. Unharmed in every manner. Orochimaru could ask himself, how? It doesn't matter now, does it? You're going to die, but your death shall be a grand one. The blood in Orochimaru's body froze. Go 10 tails. In a cloud of smoke. The 10-tailed Jubi's body. Orochimaru saw a soulless vessel, a husk of what it had been. Nemesis controlled a soulless tailed beast that prepared a tailed beast bomb. A complete 10 seconds passed. Then it started shooting. Orochimaru watched slowly as his death approached. When he closed his eyes, he recalled everything. Play the saddest and most exquisite music from Naruto. History of Orochimaru, Orochimaru's point of view. So much time has passed since then. At his family's grave, a younger Orochimaru was in tears. The third Hokage then arrived and consoled him. When I needed help, my teacher of the third Hokage as well as Tsunade and Jiraiya came through. The leader of Rain Village is referring to the 3 Sannin as such. Together, we became Sannin. We believed that this village could be protected by our combined strength. I believed that power was necessary to keep the village safe from all other threats. I therefore tried to become Hokage by acquiring power in any way possible. I hereby name Minato Namikaze as the 4th Hokage. But now I understand why I failed. To his former instructor, Orochimaru cried, why didn't you name me 4th Hokage? Orochimaru, there is no doubt that you are strong. However, strength is not everything. What was the first thing I ever taught you? Teamwork. The third person shook his head. No, it was, the true strength of a shinobi can be revealed when you are defending someone you care about. I disagreed, so in order to gain power, I did a lot of things with Danzo that I now regret. Yamato was created by an older Orochimaru who experimented on unborn children. When the 9 tails attacked, it took a while. Wait for the 4th Hokage and hold off on attacking, one man shouted. Don't let it get close to the village because it's getting closer. I believed the 4th was dead after the attack was over because I had heard of his plan to sneak in and claim that title, but he lived. I've given my wife and daughter the 9 tails. Nobody in the village is telling anyone this who doesn't already know. They die if they do. Regardless of who it is, Minato remarked. My teammates wanted to talk to me, so I went to the hospital because I was furious that my one chance to become Hokage was gone. Kushina was recuperating from giving birth to twins when Orochimaru entered the hospital's hallways. Kushina was sleeping when I entered her room. My teammates had not yet arrived. Her twin babies were also asleep when I entered, and then it struck me like lightning. If I killed them all now, Minato would shatter and I could turn into Hokage. I approached their sleeping forms. Orochimaru approached the sleeping Kushina and the sleeping Uzumaki twins, pulled a kunai from his kunai holster, and raised it in the air, preparing to murder them all. They reached out to me, and I felt like my darkness was lifted right then and there. I put my kunai away and placed my figure near them, and they played with it like any other baby. I was so close, but then the twins woke up, and their twin blue eyes were staring at me. Then I saw her, the only woman I had ever loved, and they had her eyes, the eyes of unwavering love, the eyes that can see past my cold exoskeleton and see the me that I hide from everyone, the me that is lonely. Oh, Orochimaru, I didn't know you were coming. I am awaiting my former team. However, I saw that your twins were awake, so I chose to keep them entertained so as not to wake you. He grinned. This was a genuine smile, not one of Orochimaru's eerie snake smiles, which startled Kushina. So, do you want to hold them? She inquired. What? No, I mean. Orochimaru stammered. No bullshit. Here, she gave Orochimaru her infants. That was the beginning of my reform. Over the next few years, I destroyed all of my labs, putting an end to all of the research I had done over the years, and I re-established my strained relationship with Enko, making her my first true acquaintance that I would not betray. I confronted Danzo when the twins were 3 years old. You're out. What do you mean? How does that sound? Danzo, I'm out. Orochimaru turned to go, saying, I will no longer have anything to do with you. Isn't it because of the bitch? Orochimaru stopped when Danzo yelled, You're going to turn and walk after all we've done to make the Leaf Village great. Yes. Then I'll just have to make your weakness. Orochimaru stabbed Danzo in the neck, but Danzo did not finish. You move closer to her by one step. Danzo, I'll kill you. Damn your Sharingan eyes. I can take them away just as easily as I gave you to them, hissed Orochimaru. Oh, are you now interested in her? How much time did you spend with her as a child? Did you not come up with the plan to sell her out? Orochimaru, tell me, is Kushina aware that you are her father? After that, Danzo avoided Kushina. I made it clear to him what I would do to him in the event of an emergency, excluding everyone else who liked or loved her. Eventually, the twins referred to me as their uncle, so it was okay. I didn't have to tell them that I was their grandfather. Then, when Naruto was burned, everything went to hell. Orochimaru cleared his desk and said, Gosh. One more failure. Why am I unable to do this correctly?
That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this great story. See you in the next one.